Are we live?
Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Chop Shop. I'm Sonny. It's my co-host Chad.
I'm Chad Smith.
Today again by Gemma Jade. Guys,
I think Gemma's frozen. Gemma, are you frozen?
Yeah.
Oh. Isn't that wonderful with technology, how it works? Just right exactly when you need it to.
Yeah, it was working. Everything was good, for the last 15, 20 minutes?
Yep, that's just how it works for us.
I think I just got an email from Danny.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, let me go check this.
All right. Yeah, I sent him the link.
Why does it say he's now live?
Really?
It's because it was a message from us, I think.
Oh.
No. Wait a second.
Does it say Danny's live?
Why is Danny live on his channel right now? Let's go check this out, guys.
You guys.
Let me see here.
Oh no. Okay.
Big Willie style on.
Oh, is that our channel?
I hope that's our channel, but yeah, the way you have it advertised, it looks like his channel.
I've got it looking pretty good, huh?
Oh no, it does say Paranormal Chop Shop at the bottom. Okay.
Yep, I put it down there at the bottom right.
All right.
You're like, what in the world is he doing?
You created such a good
you like that?
Cover that I didn't even know was my channel or our channel.
Chad's the man. That's why I said he doesn't need the Smith anymore.
He's good at this.
It just
I gotta
rolled
plug my
together.
computer in, guys, so I'm gonna be off screen for 1 second.
Oh, no problem.
Because I really have my stuff together too tonight.
Hey, that's what we're all about here. We're just learning. We're getting our stuff together here.
Yeah, I've only been on YouTube 2 years.
Spooky, what's up, dude?
Oh, how you guys doing today? Everything good?
Everything is good. It's Friday. I don't have to work tonight, so whenever you don't have to go into work, everything is going good.
Right on.
That is true. That's why I love that writing books and being on YouTube is my job, because I love it. And it's my only job except being a mom, which I also love. So, screw you guys.
Yeah, you're writing a book right now, right?
I am. I'm hoping to finish it tonight, hand it in Sunday. It's a collaboration with Steve Stockton. It is 101 ghost stories. So they're real ghost stories that we've collected throughout the years. There's some of my personal encounters, some stuff off the internet. Going to be cool. But my next book I'm really excited about too, because that's Shadow People Beyond the Sleep Paralysis Demon. Ooh. And it's going to be epic.
So when it's finished and you hand it in and everything's ready to go, are you going to do like a little reading here?
Yeah, I could definitely do that. Yeah,
that would be awesome. A little preview reading.
Yep.
That would be sweet.
Thank you guys. What's up, Ghost Dragons, Grey Wolf? I'm just gonna look through. I know I had something that I could bring to you guys to talk about tonight. So just give me like a couple minutes on mute here, and you guys do your thing, and I'm gonna find something cool.
Brasso, what's up, man?
We can also find some things and some stuff.
Yeah, we can find stuff to talk about.
There's this site. Yeah, there's this one site. It's actually my secret weapon. It's called Mysterious Universe. And this site has the craziest stuff on it. Like 90% of my videos, like this site is like source for my videos. It's so cool. And we're talking about possible dead Sasquatch bodies that allegedly have been found tomorrow on the After Hours show.
Do you want to see my secret weapon there, Gemma?
Is it legal to put on YouTube, Sonny Bear?
It shouldn't be. It should not be. But my secret weapon is Captain Save a Show, and I just dropped him a link.
What?
Captain Save a Show?
Captain Save a Show.
I know who that is.
That's Big Willie.
Big Willie.
It's Captain Save a Show.
I love him. You guys are amazing. Hey, Brassel.
We named him that because he comes in and he just has topics that he's like, so what do you guys think about dirt not being real? It's like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Ghost Dragons, love you.
Also, he's a firm believer of flat Earth, so it's always good to get Willie in here and tease him about that.
Yeah.
He's always flat earthing it.
Yep. Always good to bring some different topics to the podcast.
Hey, Michigan. Sure. I could really talk about anything, honestly, even if I have to BS my way through something. I'm just like, after learning to work with John Hudson, who I absolutely adore, the guy has a beautiful mind. But I mean, those first couple shows where I was left just talking, just me and him.
Yeah.
My
He's
eyes would just
awesome.
glaze over. No, he's amazing. And I mean this in the most beautiful way. It's just his mind works so much differently than me, like as a psychic and an empath. And he's all statistics but now we have this really great back and forth between us. But those first two shows, I remember just staring at the screen like dead-eyed, just being like, I don't think I know.
Right.
And like normally that's not me. I'm not left speechless.
Yeah. You were definitely every time a dog's on the screen.
He fell. I'm sorry.
He fell.
Yeah. Nice. He was trying to jump up here and he fell.
He's cool. He likes being on on camera.
I don't know. I keep like hearing like robot voice. It's gotta be my stuff.
When you and John were on there, I think it was just a couple of episodes ago, I was texting Chad telling him, hey, how cool is it when they're on there by themselves going back and forth like that? Because I know, because you guys don't just sit there and agree with each other either. I like it.
Yeah, and I think that's what's beautiful about it is that we can like not agree with each other, but it's still like we're so respectful about it. He's so respectful towards me, even though I know he doesn't believe in a lot of what I do, but he tries really hard to believe in me, and I don't understand a lot of what he says, but I try really hard. And I think it was last week, people were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing," and we were just kind of like getting our points across, and everyone was just loving it. It was really cool. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I just remember that it was really, really awesome.
Those conversations go pretty good when you guys both have a different opinion on the topic,
right?
Instead of just agreeing the whole time.
And you know what we realized at the end of that? We were both saying the exact same thing. Just he was coming from a scientific place and I was coming from like a spiritual place. But we were actually didn't even realize that we actually agreed on it. It's just we were saying it in a different way. Because I said, John, I think you're saying the same thing that I'm saying right now. Just you're coming at it differently. And then after like 15 minutes, he's like, you know what, Gemma, I think you're right. He's like, and then we realized that we weren't actually disagreeing. It's just the way he saw it was so different than the way I saw it, but we were both saying the same thing. And that was so awesome.
Yeah. That's what it takes, I think, for a good conversation is to have at least two different opinions. Totally different.
And like you said, to not have someone sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I totally agree when you don't.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Because when it comes to my being psychic and my being a medium and, my believing in the Fae and all that stuff, like I stand by it strong, because I know what I know and I know what I've experienced and I know what I've seen. So when someone challenges that, I make sure I stand my ground on it. I don't just be like, well, that's cool. I'm like, no, like you need to understand. Like I've seen this. Like don't tell me. I want to give him a reading.
Yeah.
And I want to see his reaction to it.
Brassel says John is cool. However, I wish he could use the phrase "I don't know" versus being certain about all of his ideas. Just my opinion.
Brassel, I remember, like I was just saying, like one of the first times, if not the first time, he and I just remember I kept saying, but John, I don't know. I don't know. And like he just kept going and I'm like, but I don't know. Like I can't give you an answer because I don't know.
Like it's very interesting and I just keep going. You are teaching me something, but
do you think? And I'm like, I already said I don't know. He has a beautiful mind. It's just it works very differently than mine. I'm not analytical at all. I'm not really much of a skeptic. I will take people at their word. I don't care what someone tells me. If they tell me they've experienced it, I don't care if it's a flying Sasquatch with a pig face singing "The Hills Are Alive" with the sound of music. Like I will literally believe you until I see proof that you're not telling the truth. And a lot of people are the opposite. But because of everything that I've been through and that I've experienced and that I've seen, I don't put anything past anything anymore. Like I believe in whatever.
Right. Yeah, and that's because of the stuff that you've been through, right? I mean, you've seen stuff that would seem unbelievable to most people, probably.
Right. And I think a lot of people don't believe me. And I'm okay with that because I know my experience. And I don't have a lot of people that are like flat out call me a liar, but I have a lot of people that I know pretty much basically because I'm psychic and also because sometimes I can just tell that they think I'm full of crap and I'm okay with that. Hey, buddy.
What's up, buddy? How's it going? Getting a new battery for the RC car?
Huh?
Getting a new battery charged up for the RC car?
It's on charge.
Those things are fun.
We went through all 3 of them already.
Sonny's been trying to talk me into buying one of those.
They're cool.
Yeah, they are really cool. I didn't realize how many he's got.
He built a racetrack out in the backyard.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
I was cleaning it up this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those are really cool. I'm probably going to have to end up getting one.
You want to sit there and do the show and let me go in the house? No.
So, how's school been going? Yeah, that'd been funny to do an interview.
All right, man. Love you, Cool Breeze.
He's awesome. Yeah, those videos of him out in the yard with the RC cars are really funny, man.
My dad always called me that. Cool Breeze or Breezy.
No,
yeah. Cool Breeze and Breezy.
Oh.
Synchronicities.
I always find that as my word. That's
There
what I
are no coincidences.
Josh is so funny. He wants to come on, so I sent him the link, and he's like, I'll be right there. And then nothing. And then 5 minutes later, I'm coming on. My phone just died. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know what happened with
Show Saver?
Yeah. He didn't no message or nothing. He just jumped out of chat and everything. He was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going to work." That's
Oh.
I'm not.
Guys, Danny's going to be joining us later on in the show. He's just not with us right now, so. But we're just going to be talking with you and filling some time up here while we get Danny going. Always be weird. Stay curious and keep it weird. Is he leaving?
I don't know.
Where are you going, Big
Hey,
Willie?
Willie, you coming on the show or you going to bed there, big guy?
Getting Ezra. Oh, I love that name.
Brassel says, Gemma, I forgot to tell you that chick ghosted me already 1 weekend. I wasn't even weird.
I told him, I was like, listen, I'm like, did you? And I was talking, I'm like, you're going to meet someone? Or like, I'm like, And he's like, I gave someone my number today. And I'm like, dude, don't. Like, just be careful. Like, it's you know. And that's why. And he was like, I wasn't even weird about it. I'm like, always be weird. Because then they find out you're weird, like, afterwards. And like, what the F did I get myself into here? Like,
hey, Amy. How's it going? Oh, wait, which one did you click on?
I'm not going to tell you now. I'm not going to click.
I'm going to guess.
Else.
I think it was this one.
I saw that.
He never lets me do nothing.
He never lets me have any fun.
Dude, Amy's got a new show in the morning. She's been doing mornings. It's pretty cool. I get home from work and she's like wide awake, live on YouTube. It's awesome.
And Dad, I need to thank everyone. All you guys in chat, everyone that was messaging me. Thank you guys for checking up on me. I'm better. I could walk again. My back just went out.
It's a miracle.
I've been doing a lot of work around here, and yeah.
Back
You need to take care of yourself.
I wasn't getting enough rest. That's just what it was. I wasn't sleeping enough.
I went through that. I'm actually like right now, aside from like being on live, I like started like a few days ago with like the whole F it, like stomp, foot stomp, face pout. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Cause I get like so agitated about like when things don't work out. Like I have no patience for like I'm so like obsessive compulsive with things sometimes. Like anything changes and I'm like just maniacal. So things have been like obviously like Mercury in retrograde. I've been talking about it a lot. We're here and it's just like this constant like seriously, and then you turn around and it's like seriously, like and I can't take that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
But I did get caught up on my rest, so I'm feeling a lot better now.
Oh, look who we got backstage. What's up, Josh, you Trippy Times podcast?
Hey, Gemma. Hey, Sonny.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Oh, man.
Oh, we're doing good. Just hanging out, talking.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I love that background, Gemma. That is awesome.
Thank you. It's a fairy forest.
Say it's very ethereal looking, if I'm using that word correctly.
Dude, Amazon's got
And
so
you
many
are.
of those.
They really
Mhm.
do. They have so many. Ghost Dragon sent me one. It's like a giant moon, a full moon. So when I put it behind me, and like actually looks like there's light coming from it. And then
Wow.
I got one of
Mhm.
like the it's like a witch circle, but it's actually, I believe it's like Greek goddesses. And I want to get like, oh, there's so many and I love them. I have a green screen and stuff, but right now, because I'm cramped in my bedroom instead of in my office, I don't have room for 6 foot by 8 foot green screen. And plus, I am so tech challenged. I have no idea how to use it. It's been in the box for 16 months now, and I feel bad because it was a gift from a subscriber.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's something you downloaded, your background?
No, that's what I was saying. I don't know how to use the green screen, so I just buy these tapestries off Amazon. And this one's
Oh, okay.
huge. It actually goes like so much further than what you guys can see.
That's the problem with the one that I've got is this one's too narrow, so I had to get these black curtains to go on both sides of it to make it look
Yeah, but it looks
all
awesome
one.
though. You can look for certain ones. Like I have one coming. I'm hoping to have it by tomorrow, but probably not until next week. That I'm gonna use for after hours. It's a spaceship and like a road, but right where the spaceship's beam is would be right like where I'm sitting, like where this tree is. So it looks like I'm being like beamed up into the spaceship, and
Oh,
it's
there you
like
go.
3D, so it's like super real. And
Sweet.
I have
Wow.
that shirt that says like it says single with the little box, and then it says taken with the little box, and in the taken box there's a little alien head
Mm-hmm.
instead of a
Mhm.
check mark. Oh
I've
my
seen
god,
that.
it's so cute. I had to get it.
Wow.
Yeah, I did see those when
Speaking
I was
of
looking on Amazon.
sorry. Speaking of
I,
aliens beaming up, I don't mean to get off subject, but I showed Chad this the other day. For some reason, YouTube on the downloading screen has a little icon of a UFO sending down a beam of light. I just
Yeah.
thought that was kind of strange, you
I didn't
know.
even pick that up, and Josh
Wait,
was like, "What's
what?
going on here?"
If you go to YouTube, so I found on complete accident
I'll see
the
if I can
page
find
where
it.
it says download. I sent you a picture of it, Chad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they'll show you like the downloads page. It said I don't know if it's like download waiting or something. It was like an icon though. It's on the official YouTube channel. I mean, YouTube. Whenever you go there, yeah, yeah, right there.
When you go to your downloads, if you don't have any in
No.
there, it says no downloads, and then there's a icon right there of just a UFO beaming up.
Yeah, what's that? Are they trying to put little
Josh,
subliminal messages out there?
I was like half
Subliminals.
asleep, and
Oh
Josh
my
was like,
gosh, yeah.
I
That's
feel like
almost
they're
exactly
prepping
what the
people.
tapestry looks like.
"Oh yeah."
is Gemma? Are you delayed, Gemma?
Yeah, I can I'm like always 30 seconds delayed no matter what. I go out and I come back in and it just doesn't, it never changes. It happens to me on my own on my own stream, and it happens on SOR too. I'm always on a delay. I have no idea why.
Weird.
Huh.
I've never really
I
noticed.
didn't even notice
It do-
that, but it's only like 2
It's
seconds.
like 20 seconds.
Oh no! Right now
Or
it's
like,
only like a couple seconds.
oh,
If
is it?
That's not that
yeah,
bad.
if that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if that.
Like
That's pretty good.
if you hold up like the peace sign, and I'll tell you when I see it.
All right, hold on. Ready? Really?
I told you it's like 20 to 30 seconds.
Oh, I
What?
think it's got
Yep,
to
there
be
you are.
jumping around.
There it is.
No way,
That's
Gemma.
no way.
Yeah.
So strange.
That's weird. So the audio's fine, but your video's not.
The audio is fine. I can hear you guys in real time, but I can't see you. So
Wow.
you're
That's
welcome,
Gemma's
Alien Girl,
energy.
and thank you so much for the sub. It probably is. I told you guys
Huh.
I'm so bad. I
Mhm.
break things. Like I break tech. Nothing ever works right.
That
I've had
is
a-
strange.
I told Chad about this. It was like a month ago. My Wi-Fi was just messing up, just cutting off and on and off and on, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm going to a friend of mine's house, and she knows about my experiences. Like as soon as I get there, her Wi-Fi fucks up, and she looks at me and she's like, "It's not the Wi-Fi to you." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "Josh, my Wi-Fi was working perfect before you got over here." I
That
mean,
happens.
could be.
I mean it is about, I mean, if you really think about it, I'm so sorry I interrupted you. I thought you were done
Oh, you're okay.
talking.
Oh, you're okay.
But it's just like it is energy. Certain people's energy throws things off, you know, like I attract very bizarre people. Like when you said your friend
Mhm.
blamed that on you, I remember one time I was at one of my friends' houses and some guy randomly knocks on the door and he's like, "Yeah," like my friend answers the door and the guy's like, "I kind of smelled you guys were smoking something and I was wondering if I can come in." And So we're just like, he's like, I work at the pizza place next door. So we're like, oh, okay, come in.
Got the
And
munchies.
they were like, okay. So we let him come in, and he's there for like 2 hours, and he gives us like all these weird things, like a Led Zeppelin cassette tape. And like this was like 8 years ago, and he gives us like a little one hitter, and he gives us just like this coin thing, and then he leaves. And my friend looks at me and he's like, I'm never inviting you back because that guy knocked because you are in my house right now. He's like, you attract people like that. I'm like, oh, and his name, he's like, yeah, by the way, my name's the Fawns. I was like,
They're like the what? The Fawns?
I don't even smoke. Like, what is going on here? Like,
Weird.
but stuff like that happens to me all the time. Like, it's not even like the weirdest people. I mean, they're great. I love it. I don't mean weird in a bad way, but I knew it was because of me. I knew it too. I just like hung my head like, and the guy's like, yeah, and at some point I'll burn that tape onto a whatever, an MP3 or something for you before he leaves. And I looked at my friend and I'm like, you know what that means? He's like, what? I'm like, it means I'll be back.
That's funny.
Yeah, crazy. I'm watching on YouTube. Am I not supposed to be watching? Because I can't see the YouTube chat if I'm.
Oh, that's why it's delayed. You're watching on YouTube.
If I
can't click the chat icon down there.
If you're in,
I need to be signed in. Like
if you click on comments, you should be able to read it while you're in StreamYard.
Yeah,
I don't see comments in here though. It says mute, stop cam mic, share, and leave studio.
Up in the right corner.
There it is, Gemma. We have solved the mystery of why I'm on a 30-second delay. I'm like, I always watch it on YouTube. What do you guys mean?
I was wondering, I'm like, how is that possible if the audio's not? I'm trying to think. It's going crazy in my head.
Go back to StreamYard.
I got it.
Okay.
Hi, Gemma.
Hi, guys. Oh, there you are. Look, in real time.
Wow.
Oh my God.
We figured it out.
What's up, Big Willie? Since we were on that subject about electronics or technology malfunctioning, I do want to share something real quick. I told Chad this, and I believe Sonny, when I first got in contact with Chris Bledsoe, this is before I knew like hardly anything about any of this really. I was just now starting to accept it as a possibility. He was talking to me on the phone, and this is whenever I was kind of wondering if I was actually going crazy, to be honest. I was starting to see these orbs in the corner of my eye mainly. And he was telling me, he's like, Josh, you're not crazy. You're really experiencing this stuff. Come over to my house and, share an experience with me. And I'll show you. But as he was talking to me, he said this truck just randomly cut off, like pulling into his driveway, just shut off completely. And, he tells me, and I'm thinking, it could be anything. This could be vehicle issues. But he starts laughing, and he's like, Josh, stuff like this happens to me sometimes, especially whenever I'm speaking about things like this. And at this time, I didn't know about any of Chris's experience except for the very first incident at the Cape Fear River. And I never heard of people having, technology malfunction around them. Well, we start talking, and he tells me, I start telling him about a lot of the bizarre synchronicities and even some random details from dreams I've had that have actually come true and kind of freaked me out. And he recommends me watch this movie. It's called the Adjustment Bureau. I don't know if you ever heard that movie. It's got Matt Damon in it.
I heard of it, but I never saw it. I'm gonna have to check it out now.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really great movie. But he told me to watch this movie. He said, Josh, this is kind of like a metaphorical way. This is kind of like what I believe happens when it comes to synchronicities and stuff. And in the movie, spoiler alert, if for people who haven't seen it, I'm not going to give away the movie, but there's like these they say they've been referred to as angels. They're humans, but they're obviously not human. At first I was thinking it was like some Men in Black type stuff, but there's a part where he asked him, he says, are you angels? And he says, one of the main characters says, we've been referred to as that and many other things. But they kind of like go through doorways, and they kind of like manipulate events in people's lives and stuff. But what's really bizarre is when I start watching this movie, the very first scene, the like dramatic scene where, it's revealed that these people are aliens or whatever, my phone just completely shuts off. And it was totally charged up. It was actually plugged up to the wall, Really? I don't know. It's really, really bizarre. And it was like literally right at that fucking scene, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to give away the details of the scene. I've already given away too much. But
I'll
yeah,
still watch it.
I don't
Don't
know.
I'll
worry
still
about
watch
You
it.
know,
Yeah, I don't care about that stuff.
it could be a coincidence, maybe not. But I don't know. I told Chris about it, and he doesn't think it was a coincidence at all.
You
And he had told
may.
me, I asked him if there was any other time that his truck had shut off like that, and he said no. That things like that happen. His watches will malfunction, cell phones, just all types of electronics. He said he can't even keep a watch on his wrist anymore because they always screw up on him.
I have a lot of that too. I think I've told a lot of you guys about that before with me, where like, but it's not all the time with me. It's when I'm like, usually when I'm angry, to be honest with you. I told you guys the story about how like I freaked out and I just started screaming and my microwave just set on fire. Like the inside of my microwave
What?
went on fire
Holy
and
shit.
broke. And then like when I speak about certain things, especially like on YouTube, even with Big Willie, when we were trying to talk about the MIB on the after hour show, he was having tech difficulties. When Steve and I would talk about the MIB, every single time the stream would go down. So I believe people like that, like they just have a certain energy about them, and sometimes they have that happens to me when I don't like, if I'm not meditating enough, if I'm not making sure I'm aligned, I'm not channeling from source enough. So if somebody has abilities that are like they're not using and that everything's just building up, that is very possible that stuff like that can happen. Not just from people, like I know there's this whole thing that I don't even really kind of understand, but I'm researching it, of experiencers who have this kind of stuff happen, but also people with like untapped psychic potential and psychic abilities. That kind of stuff tends to happen because energetically, where is it going? If I'm not channeling it and I'm not channeling from source, and if I'm not letting it out in a healthy way, either I'm putting my fist through the wall or blowing up a microwave, and that happens, and it used to happen to me when I forced my abilities dormant, to the best of my ability for a really long time. I remember working at a restaurant, and they were like, Gemma can't touch anything because she's rogue. I mean, a brand new vacuum, I just plug it in and it like sparks and it's done. The little like POS systems, the point of service system. I mean, I'm just like typing in someone like to get someone's checkout, and the thing, sparks and explodes. And that was, I wasn't allowed to. I had to do everything by hand.
Jeez.
I can't help it. Now it's gotten a lot better, except for, like I said, when I'm angry.
Yeah. Have you heard of the term powder before? Or somebody's powder?
Powder.
I've heard that before on the
I mean,
radio.
I've seen the movie of the guy Powder who had got struck. His mom got struck by lightning when she was pregnant. It wasn't a real story, but that could be where that came from. And then he had all of these electrical things.
That's where it came from. Yeah,
I couldn't watch it because I cried because I felt bad for Powder because they were so mean to him.
I need to interview this. I've been listening to Dave and Chuck the Freak on it's a Detroit morning show, but now they're syndicated. They're all over the country, I guess. But
Oh wow.
I've been listening to them for probably 10 years now. And Josh is gonna leave for a second. But Dave has the weirdest stuff happen to him, and he never ties it to anything paranormal. He always just thinks it's, I don't know what he thinks I don't know what he thinks it is, but that's what he tied it to. Is he calls himself, or he says that he's got like this powder thing going on where like he'll drive underneath streetlights and the streetlights shut off, or he'll wear a watch and the watch will die, like he'll drain the batteries like instantly, or all the stuff that you guys were just talking about. And then a couple years ago, he was talking about how he bought this pair of shoes, used them for, I think he said he used them for like a year or two. So they were pretty well used shoes. Went to go put one on one day, and one of them was brand new. Like brand new. Like it had his old shoes that he's had for like a year or two. He went to his closet and went to go put his shoes on. One of them was literally like tied like it would be from the store, and it had the stuffing in the shoe like it was a brand new shoe. clean,
weird.
no
That sounds
marks
like
on it.
fae trickery to me, as opposed to like someone's energy. That sounds to me like a fae somehow got in his closet and like did some stuff. But that's why they say that you have to really watch what you bring into your house. One of my subscribers, I was doing a reading for him, like one of the one cards, and I was like, listen, you just brought something recently, or we're giving something secondhand, and it's got a really bad negative attachment. He's like, be right back, gotta go throw the lamp I brought out today, because he had just brought a lamp from the garage sale. And sometimes that's energy that stays on things. Like if I go into like a thrift store and purchase a vintage ring, you know, I will get the emotion, like if it was any kind of strong emotion attached to that ring, if it was an engagement ring, or if someone died with it on their finger. So
kind of like a residue.
An energetic residue. Yeah. Like when Zach Baggins went to, I don't really like him, but like when he went to the museum to see the wall where like the Valentine's Day massacre occurred, they took a chunk of the wall and it's in a museum, I think in Boston, but I'm not sure. And
Boston?
I love your accent.
Not Austin, Boston.
Boston.
Boston, okay. Boston.
Over there in Boston?
Over there in Boston. In Massachusetts. In Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
I
can't say it, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about.
It's all right.
But there was the residual energy that the medium was picking up. There was someone said, oh my God, did I just get shot? And someone else was like, it hurts my chest. And it was like all of the thoughts that the people were having as they were dying, these gangsters that got killed that day. It's energetic residue that, and it can stick around on literally anything. That's why, like, you know, you really have to, if you have any kind of sensitivity at all, sometimes people don't know it, and like they'll put on an old vintage ring and then suddenly they're like in a really aggravated mood and they're like, where did this come from? Well, it came from the ring. It probably was like taken off some deceased lady's finger at her funeral by like her nephew or something. I don't know. Stranger things have happened, and I've actually had a client that she's like, I don't know where all this anger is coming from. I'm like, that ring was stolen off a dead person's finger. She's like, yeah. But I cleared it out for her.
That's one way to collect other people's jewelry.
Completely more bear psychometry. You gotta watch. That's why, like, if you rob people, like, not only karmically is that bad for like the karma cookie jar, but like you really have to be careful. I mean, I can sense it, so I pretty much, so I know what I'm buying. But like, if you hit a yard sale, man, like you never know. Steve Stockton had something with like when he was little, he was in a thrift store and picked up an egg beater and saw the vision of somebody being beaten to death with this egg beater.
Holy smokes.
Or like an electric mix or something like that. And he'll tell the story, like, because some of us, when we touch these things, I have to try to see it, but Steve can actually just by touching it can just see it automatically, or at least could when he was younger. And yeah, he started like screaming in the store, like running for his life. He saw the murder of like from the viewpoint of the person being killed and seeing this egg beater or whatever it was smashing down.
Wow. Is this thing on sale?
Yeah, right?
Wow.
It's like, like 50% off.
That's
Jim,
my dream,
what
to start a thrift store.
Yeah.
My grandmother loves thrift stores. I mean, we can be doing anything. If we pass by a thrift store we've never been to, just scoot, we're pulling in here.
I like thrift stores in other states. Sorry, guys.
What's that, Sonny?
I just like
aliens are coming.
I want to start a thrift store and like partner with my church and all that stuff. And I got the idea because I live with a super hoarder. So I'm always like, oh man, I could have made money off that. Oh man, why did you leave that in the snow? I could have made money off that. Like, but now it's like my goal. Plus I have like 4 walk-in closets full of clothes and shoes and like no female friends that I can like swap with. So I'm like, all this excess stuff, you know?
I screwed my game. Yeah. That would be a cool thing for you to get into. Have you wanted to do that? A thrift
I've been
store?
wanting to do that for quite a while. So what I'm going to do is just keep working and saving. And that is my eventual goal. Like I said, to like partner with my church, or if I move, like with a different church and like kind
Michigan.
Just
what
saying. I mean, if I should happen to move to Michigan or wherever,
that would be cool. I'm trying to get everybody to Michigan. That's why I say that. I'm trying to get Sonny to Michigan.
I would have no problem with Michigan. I told, what was I telling? Somebody asked me, they said, do you have any connection with Michigan? I was like, I'm a huge Eminem fan. So like, I think Michigan's awesome because Eminem's from there.
Big boy.
Josh, where are you from?
North Carolina, and I love Eminem as well. To be
I love it.
honest,
North Carolina.
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, I got
I
that
love it.
southern accent. I'm way more southern than I realized. When I listen, I can't even stand hearing myself talk. To be
Oh
honest,
my gosh, I'm the same way. I'm like, you sound so like uneducated, girl, but I can't help it. It's just
no,
how I talk.
no, you got a good radio voice, really. Um,
That's
Jim,
thank
I wanted
you.
to say something about what you were saying earlier
Sure.
about people with untapped potential. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I kind of have came to the belief that everybody probably has some psychic potential that they're not aware of. So I never referred to myself as having any psychic abilities, even though I've had synchronicities happen like really my whole life. They just got like recently they got really like on overdrive. But last year in particular is whenever things started happening like these really layered synchronicities. And Chad and Sonny know exactly what I'm talking about. I actually have like things written out. Like God, it would take. I'd go on forever if I started talking about this. But I was like kind of trying to deny it, and it was actually my investigator Seb Talk who was on the other day. Her and as well as Chris Bledsoe both told me they were like, Josh, you definitely have some psychic abilities. You know, like they know because I've told them things and weird shit would happen. So for example, I'm just going to give you like the biggest one real quick. I'm going to summarize this. The one that like really had my fingers shaking whenever it happened. My first major orb sighting last year. The night before, Chad and Sonny have heard this. I had this odd dream where a girl I went to high school with came up to me and made a comment about smoking weed. She was like, "Why do you say I got lazy eyes because I'm so stoned or something?" And it was just a really odd dream. But I wake up next morning, and as soon as I get on my phone, at the very top of my YouTube feed is a song called "Lazy Eyes," and it's by this band. I can't remember the name of the band right now, but Silver Sun Pickup. Sorry. Well, right after I click and play the song, and I'm already kind of tripping out because of the fact that this
Great.
song is on my YouTube feed, and I had a dream. Like literally right after I wake up, not even an hour after I wake up, I'm just smoking a cigarette on my back balcony. As soon as I play the song, I see an orb shoot over the left shoulder of me over my balcony, and it comes to immediate stop, and it flashes, and I see the light actually hit the bottom of the clouds, and that was like the first definite sighting. Where there was no way, that it could have been a shooting star or
Very
anything.
in your face,
And
like no denying it.
yes, and it was so bright that I swear to God, the light for half a second, just blink of an eye, illuminated my balcony. I remember looking at it, I could see in my peripheral vision where the light actually shine on my jeans, like on my pants leg, and
Wow.
it's just like a huge light, and it just left like this circular like flash that I could see hit the bottom of the cloud. So it's like it was showing me, it's not up there, it's down here. Well, all that was, bizarre and just crazy enough on its own. It really it changed my life, to be honest. But 3 weeks later, out of nowhere, the same girl that was in this dream, and I need to point out that I sent an email. This is the second time I reported to Seb Talk, my MUFON investigator. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I used this girl's first and last name. Don't know why. I think it's just because my emotions were, just going on overdrive. But I use her first and last name. I'm like, this girl named blank blank, said this in my dream. 3 weeks later, the same girl, I have not seen her in almost 10 years, randomly calls me. She had a near-death experience. And that's when I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It literally had my fingers shaking. I'm just like, what in the world? It's just like just layers of synchronicities and a sighting and all this stuff connected.
I
I
think
wanted
that
to share
I'm
that with
sorry.
you.
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
we're all born with amazing psychic abilities. And I think John and I have had this conversation, just like summarize, it's like because most people don't believe in it or most people don't recognize it, and we're told that stuff isn't real, that stuff's not possible. It's like the bumblebee. They always say like it shouldn't be able to fly because it's too heavy. Its wings are too light to be able to carry it. But it's a bumblebee, so it doesn't know that it's not supposed to be able to. So that kind of thing. Even like me when I was little, seeing dead people at the dinner table, and I'm like freaking out. My parents are like, or my dad's like, that's not, stop with that artard crap and, all this, so I've it, and I had a pretty crappy life for suppressing it and like trying to turn it off when it was right in my face. And I feel like everybody's born with the same amount of psychic potential, the same openness of sense. It doesn't matter what it grows into. It can grow into something, or it can be totally suppressed. And I believe that depends on a lot of things, like in my opinion, the person's astrology and the person's how they were raised and all this stuff. But when you have something like that, Josh, like right in your face like that, and it continuously happens, I think that's something telling you like you could be, like, I've spoken to Chad. I believe that he's an earth angel, and earth angel,
Starseed.
or that one or the other. And I know I'm an earth angel and my mission is listening. And I believe that we all, like, if you are a starseed, an earth angel, something else that has a mission here that you're supposed to be doing, like there's a reason you were here on earth and not in whatever galaxy or planet or whatever you came from. You're going to keep having that happen until you figure out what it is and start that mission. And you're probably already starting that mission by doing things like this and getting the message out there, without even realizing it. But there's probably so much more to what your journey is and your mission is, and your, star ancestors are trying to give you attention and hints as to like what you're supposed to be doing. I really believe that you probably have a really important job here that you need to probably get started on. Because I believe, and I'll I have a tendency to ramble, so just cut me off if I do. But I believe that we can, when we reincarnate, we can go anywhere in the entire galaxy. We can be any extraterrestrial, but when we come to Earth and decide to be a human, this is the hardest, and we all do it for a different reason. But earth angels, star seeds, I mean, there are so many different things you can be. But you probably have a mission contract? That's untapped. I'm sorry, what?
Are you familiar with I think it's Dolores Cannon? I heard it from the Soul Contract.
I talk about soul contracts and soul bonds so much. Like Connor and I have a soul contract. I believe Jake and I have a soul contract, a soul bond.
The first time I heard that, it really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead, Chad.
I was just going to say, I just heard that soul contract thing a couple times yesterday, where, who was talking about it? I can't remember who was talking.
All the time. It's been, a lot of people have been talking about it,
Yeah.
We mentioned it with Sev the other day.
How, like, you can sign a soul contract and then sometimes be reincarnated within like a shorter amount of time, or a longer, like it might take you longer to reincarnate because you have to like go over like what you learned and the lessons that you took from the last or from the previous life.
Yeah, and if you don't learn the lesson you're supposed to learn, you have to keep like repeating the same life over and over until your human body lets your soul learn that. I was born way too quickly. That's why I was born with all this stuff. My guide told me it's because I have a soul bond and a soul connection with my father, and he was going to die somehow. I don't know the specifics if I wasn't born. So I could make the choice. Do I want to be born early and have to bring all this stuff with me and save him? Or do I just not be born into this life as, Gemma Jade and let him pass? Mm-hmm. And I chose, because of that bond and that contract with him, to always protect him, and he's always going to protect me, to be born early. And that's why I've had to go through what I've had to go through.
Wow. Hey, Gemma, can I ask you something real quick?
Sure.
Hey, Josh, before we do that, we've got Danny backstage, so I'm just going to bring him up so he can join the conversation with us. So everybody, this is Danny Wolf. How's it going, Danny?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Doing good, man. Good. I apologize for not communicating with you yesterday and getting this all set up. We're still learning over here at the new podcast studio.
He's covering for me, Danny. I wasn't feeling well, so that's why. Chad's just being nice. He ain't gonna take the rap for me. That's my fault.
That's okay. I forget everything all the time anyway.
I do the same thing, man. So it's no big deal.
That's why I'm a compulsive note taker.
See you later, 509.
Bye, 509.
So yeah, it's good to see you.
How's your workout? How's your workouts been going, Danny? You been sticking to that?
Oh yeah, still still going strong.
Doing the soup
Yeah,
can boogie.
I've been seeing some of your shows you post on YouTube. Your workout videos.
Yeah.
That's
Smart,
awesome.
man.
They're awesome.
I'm
So,
getting back into my workout routine as well.
Same.
So far, we'll see. For my first routine, I lost 13 pounds. This one's about 3/4 over. Lost another 8 or so pounds, another 20, about 21 pounds altogether. So,
Wow, that's great, man.
yeah, so it's a total of 254 pounds now, I think.
254 pounds
Yeah.
you've lost? That is unbelievable. That's so
Whoa.
awesome, Danny.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm happy, man. I used to be, when I was young.
Does that still blow your mind just saying that out loud? I mean,
Yes, it does. It does.
that's gotta just be. That is the craziest accomplishment I've heard in a long time. That is
I'm
so
looking to
cool.
lose like 80 pounds. Does anybody want to, you want to tell me how you
We
did it?
don't have
Not right
80.
now, but I'm going to have to
Yes,
hit
he
you
can
up.
show you, Gemma. He has videos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to
You have 80
definitely
pounds to lose.
hit that. Oh, I do, believe me. I have a mom bod. You always see me from here up.
He did it with dedication. That's how he did it. I wish I could be that dedicated to work it out.
That's
Still.
awesome.
Yeah. Great
I'm the
job,
opposite.
Danny.
I'm trying to gain weight. Like 25 pounds lighter than what I should be right now. I just started slacking on my workout routine and my protein. That's
me
that's an
too.
amazing accomplishment, man.
Yeah, it really is. That is awesome.
Yeah, well, the only thing one of the things I really started doing real consistent these last little while is because of the bat wings. When you lose that much weight, you get a little bit of loose skin flying around there.
Take it, Gemma.
I can't.
And my arms went down to like, I don't know, 17 inches or some fool thing. So now they're
Hey,
back.
Arlene.
Now they're back up to 18 and a half, almost 19. So this is a good thing.
Oh, cool.
Oracles and beyond, I'm right at 40. Arlene Freiberg says that's an entire person. Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't even weigh that much. Yeah, one of my 4 sisters that I have, she got really depressed whenever her adoptive, her real mother is my mother. My mother gave her up for adoption, but we've always kept contact. But her adoptive mother passed away, and she got really depressed and gained a lot of weight. And she lost, I think, about 220 pounds within a year and a half. But yeah, I know it takes so much dedication. And she said the hardest thing for her is keeping it off, because she almost gained it all back really quick right afterwards.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now she's got a trainer.
You gotta,
Yeah.
with anything in life, not just weight, but
Mhm.
it's all about consistency. It's all about, but you gotta have it so that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like
Come
you
on, so,
cannot be consistent in anything, be it, working out, losing weight, doing your job, following your hobby.
Mhm.
If you're not enjoying yourself, if you don't like what you're doing, there's no possible way to be consistent. Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, find a way to do it in a way that brings you comfort, peace, enjoyment. If you do that, it's not something that you have to do. It's something that you want to do.
They say
Right.
if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. So it's kind of the same.
It's all about consistency. And it's all about, we got one life to live. And if you want to spend it looking at, some press going up and down for the rest of your life, that's fine. But me, I don't. I want to do different things, right? So
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on your viewpoint. But if you love something that you do, or if you're doing something because at the end of it, you get something you love out of it, or something that you need out of it, like people that work, right, in factories, stuff like that. They might hate their job. They like the people they work with, so that's good. They like to be able to, once they get their jobs, to do this. It pays for their hobbies. It pays for the things that they love, and it takes care of the family. Well, all of a sudden, it's not such a bad deal, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to find the ribbon that ties you to whatever you're doing. If you don't, you're going to be miserable.
I totally agree. Your life is a reflection of who you are. I agree completely.
So, Danny, how'd you get involved in the paranormal world?
Oh, hell.
That was a while ago, huh?
Yeah, I think I was like 2. I don't know. I was born into it. It was
Yeah.
Same.
It was always a part of my life, always a part. You know, I never knew half the time if it was paranormal or real. It was just so different for me, I guess, than some. And I think and for a lot of other people, it's the same damn thing. You know, it's just for me, it's always just been a part of life. I've never considered it paranormal. Nothing I've ever done, I considered paranormal until someone told me, "Hey, that's paranormal shit." Oh, really? What's that? I didn't know. I didn't care. You know.
Yeah.
Like I've always been a nature druid, and I've always been a shaman, and I've been a pastor for I don't know how long. Can't even remember now.
Said pastor.
Yeah, but it's all a part. It's all a part of who I was, who I am, who I've been. You know, and there's been a lot of super awesome good crap that's happened. You know, in the years of me doing my job, and there's been a lot of shit that I went, oh crap, that sucked. But hey, all part of the process, right?
That's right. That's cool. So did you just start finding out, how did you initially find out that you were a little bit different? Were you a little bit more intuitive, or how did you actually see physical apparitions and stuff like that? Or
Oh yeah, man. From my earliest memories, I seen this guy come into the house. I don't know. I can't even say how old I was. I was that young. But there was a knock on the door, so I opened the door. But I recognized the guy, and I chuckled, but come on in. So I went upstairs, and he sat at the table and he talked to me just about whatever, and he was having a cigar, and he put the cigar out, and we had a nice chit chat, and then he left. But I don't remember him going through the door. I just left. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Anyway, I was having a nap, and I thought, yeah, my mom, it was either mom or Nan, maybe both. They got up and they came in and, what's that smell? What's burning? What's that smell? And I said, that old guy was here with his cigars, and they turned around, both of them, and they looked at the table, and in the spot, I guess, where my Nana's father sat, right, was his favorite ashtray, and the cigar was put out in this ashtray on the table. And they, right away, I guess they freaked out. Like I said, I don't remember all of it because we were very young. But anyway, the cigar that he smoked, Supreme Owl or something it was called, it was a certain brand. They had not even made that brand for like 15 years before that day. It was canceled like 15 years before that.
Whoa.
So she's like, how could he have been here smoking this cigar that doesn't even exist anymore and hasn't for over 15 years, right?
Right.
And I guess,
you just answered my next question.
Yep, he was there.
And I guess the tobacco, like when they squeezed it, was still soft. It was fresh, right? So it wasn't like a dried out old cigar or anything. And that was that's the day Nana went, oh, great, we got another one.
Wow.
Add it to the list.
Yep. But it seems to be generational in our family. We'll get, usually there's always one male and one female every generation.
And where did you grow up?
All over the place.
Okay.
Where
I
were you
have
born?
it. My one grandmother has it, and that had it, and 1, 2, 3. I think 4 of my 5 kids have it. My oldest and my youngest have it really, like I have it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happens with generational, in my opinion, I mean, how do I know? I don't know shit. But anyway, besides that, in my opinion, generational gifts that are passed on, they're given as a spiritual gift to the people in the family, right? And then there'll come a time where they got to make a decision: do I want to receive this gift or not?
Mm-hmm.
So you might get 3 kids in a family, and all 3 of them, when they're young, they will have the visions, and they'll have everything. They'll have all the gift signs that are given to them. But if they decide before puberty that they don't want this crap, it's gone, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Because it is a
That's-
gift. It's not something that is forced upon anybody. People decide whether they realize it or not. People decide on their own as they're growing up with these gifts and as they're growing with these things. They decide whether or not they want it, you know? And the decision is made before puberty. So
It's got to be like an internal decision, because I know my 17-year-old is full-blown medium, but he is terrified of it. He tries not to acknowledge it. He hates it. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
yeah.
Unless like there's something that he has to do with it. Like I was just talking to Josh about, like, sometimes we have missions and like we have to have it. I think there's something he's supposed to help either humanity or some particular person with it or something, because there has to be a reason this kid has it. He loathes it. He, doesn't want to talk about it. But I mean, he would scare the crap out of us when he was little, because he would see things that like even I didn't see, because I was trying to like turn mine off. And he'd be like, don't walk down the stairs right now because grandpa's down there and he looks like he's in a bad mood, and or like the man over there. And I was just like, oh my God, like this kid is creeping me out. Like, I know how creepy I am to people.
Yeah, well, that's normally the way it works. And normally it's people after they reach a certain age and their friends all start telling them they're freaky. That's when everybody always tries to shut it off. By then it's too late. You're not going to shut it off. It's too late. You've made your decision, right? It's basically what happens is your subconscious and your own truth. I guess that's the best way to say it, is your own truth, your own inner being decides whether it will walk beside the spirits or not, right?
Wow.
It's not necessarily a right or wrong answer for anyone. It's not necessarily a I'm going to think about this, about whether or not I want to do it. That doesn't come till after puberty. That doesn't come until your friends start telling you that you're a freak, that you want to shut it off, or you're amazing, so you want to turn it up. That shit only happens once other people get involved in your life that you think are important at the time. It happens before that. And yourself, your own inner spirit, decides whether it's comfortable enough to walk with these other spirits. And if it doesn't affect you mentally, if it doesn't twist your brain around and you're comfortable enough to walk with them, they stay. If it becomes that you start to really go crazy over it, they leave. That's the way they do it. So at least that's the way they've all explained it to me. This is not my opinion. This is their opinion. Is that if they feel that the person's spirits that they're all not connected to so much, but that they're all able to see the light, the beacon. If they could walk with that person and that person's spirit doesn't get angry, or if they don't lash out unexpectedly, or if they seem comfortable with them being there, they will stay forever. Right now, whether or not as a person older they interact with those spirits, totally up to the person. You know what I mean? Like the spirits aren't going to force themselves on anybody unless they're nasty jerk offs.
Yeah.
But that's when my job comes in, right? But anyway, that's the gist of it. Really, it's a lot of people shut it off and they don't realize they shut it off, because they're the people that walk in a room, they go, oh, Bubby, I hate this room. I don't want to be in this house. Let's get out of this house. It's because the spirits are there, and there's her spirit or his spirit is not gelling with the other spirits. So they get that feeling of entrapment and, trouble coming, and it's going to be a bad place to live and all that stuff. It's because the spirits that are communicating with his spirit, either they are jerk offs or he's just not, or she's just not comfortable around other spirits.
Wow. Do you mind if I ask Danny a question real quick?
No, go ahead, man.
First off, Danny, do you have Native American in you by any chance in your bloodline?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm half Native American too.
I felt like you did for some reason. I'm a quarter Blackfoot Native American. You said you were too, Gemma?
I'm half Cherokee. My mom's 100%.
Oh, that's awesome. I've got a little bit of Cherokee, but mainly Blackfoot. My grandfather was a Blackfoot Native American.
Yeah,
First I want to say
we got we
sorry, go
got
ahead.
we got Cheyenne and Cherokee blood. A little bit of
Okay.
Cheyenne, a little bit of Cherokee.
You said Cheyenne. What
Yeah,
was that again?
yeah,
I'm not
Cheyenne.
familiar with that one.
Giant.
Yeah, actually, I have heard of that. So, real quick, because I don't want to get into too much detail about me. You talked about being born into it. I suppose I was too. The day I was born, my mother, and my grandmother, they said they saw an apparition of my great grandfather, and he was a Blackfoot Native American as well, and he passed away about a month or two before I was born. Some robbers broke in his house and killed him. But uh, it was till years later I started having some experiences. But what I wanted to say was I have a family member who I just found out here recently has been having more paranormal type experiences since she was a child. Since she was about 6 or 7 years old, and now she's a teenager, about 16, or she's 17 now. Sorry. What another family member told me is that, hey there, another family member told me that she has been seeing apparitions. I get she describes it as like for a blink of an eye. I wanted to ask Jim about this earlier as well, but it'll look like a person or somebody is there for just like a split second, and then they're not there. And at first, God, I almost said the person's name. I'm really bad at doing that. I've done it a few times. At first, they were thinking, she was seeing imaginary friends or something until she started seeing some really odd things and some things a little, freaky. For example, when she was about 7 or 8 years old, mentioned on the couch that there was a person wrapped up in duct tape, like they had been murdered or something. I mean, it sounds really freaky and bizarre, and it is. And other things like walking through Walmart, and she would say for like a split moment it looked like somebody was walking, but the person didn't look like like a normal person. And it's that. And then the other really bizarre thing, I asked Lynn Wallington about this, because I've never heard anybody mention it, is that often right before she would walk through doorways, it would look like the doors were dripping water. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what that means. I've never heard of that. But said it would happen really frequently, always like just right before she walked through the doorway. And I picture like have you ever seen like the glass with like the little waterfall thing going down it? That's what I picture. I don't know if that's exactly what she saw. But the reason I'm asking you this is because
I've seen that
apparently
too,
this stopped. Oh, really? I've never heard anybody else mention that. The reason I ask you this is because here recently, apparently she stopped having a lot of these experiences, but she also decided for what I believe is fear, that she doesn't believe in God or any higher power anymore, which I honestly think is completely out of fear. And my question is, what advice would you give somebody like that? Like, say if I were to speak to her.
Well, first of all, if she was here or she could hear me or whatever, first thing is I'd say is you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. All right. You're okay the way you are. Don't get in your head that there's something wrong with you just because you're different. There's nothing wrong with being different. Okay. A lot of times we will see remnants of things that happened. A lot of times, especially if you don't work in the field, if you're not someone that, like myself, okay, I've normally put about 75 hours a week into this, okay? But it's my job. It's always been my job. For 53 years, it's been my job, right? So to me, it's an everyday, 24 hours, 7 thing for me. So I don't even worry about it. But if you're not someone that works in the field a lot and you're seeing things, it's because the spirits are trying to get somebody. 90% of the time, it's they're trying to show you little bits and clips of things that's happened to them. Okay, so the person wrapped in duct tape with plastic or whatever, this is someone that his body's still not found. They won't show themselves in full death mode. You'll never see a spirit in full death mode, except for 2 reasons. The first reason is they don't know they're dead. And the other reason is because no one knows where their body is. Those are the only 2 reasons they show themselves fully in their death mode. Now, you might see a spirit with half a face. You might see this or that. That's not a full death mode. That's just part of the death that they're still trying to deal with. They're hanging on to it, so they haven't
Oh, I've
got rid
seen
of
that a
that.
million times, though.
And it really doesn't. It really does. Until they are told, a lot of them, okay, you don't have to look like that anymore. Okay, you can be the energy that you want to be, right? So a lot of times spirits don't realize this. It's a learning process for them too. Okay. When we were born, we didn't get up, walk, go to work, punch the clock, and got our paycheck. Okay. When you become into a new life form, when you become a new spirit, when you become a new essential energy source, you have to learn the ropes. I mean, first you got to crawl, then you walk, and then you do all this other stuff. So, a lot of them are winging it at first, just like we do, right? So in life, we wing it, right?
Mm.
So it's all
Now,
these
do you-
little things that this person's going through. This person's, now think about it from this person's point of view. What is this crazy shit? Because to them, this is going to be like a horror movie on steroids, because not only is it something that's happening, it's something that they're seeing, and they're the only ones that's seeing it, right? So this is a horror movie. This isn't, seeing crap. This is a horror movie, As for the doors, whenever for me, this is not for everybody, but for me, whenever I come up to a building or I come up to some doors and I see water coming through it, it means that place is pumped with spiritual energy. Like the doors haven't been open in a long time, and it's like overbleed, right? It's overbleed of energy, what's coming through the door. Normally, when I go to a store like that and I see that, I kind of stand to the side and let the door open up a little bit, Yeah, so I basically, I'm just shielding myself, right? So I'll stand by the door and wait till it opens, and then I'll see the energy come through, okay? But I'm not going to stand right in front of it and get nailed with it. I want to be offside, prepare myself for it, and then all those visions disappear, and it's just, you're back to normal again. The energy's still there. It's just that you put on your own shield, so you're kind of protecting yourself, so it's not as abundant, right?
So you seen that exact thing with the water, by the way?
Lots of times.
That's
Especially
crazy. I've never heard of
especially when I've got called to accident scenes, or I get called to, like with the work, I might get called to a scene of a motel where people were killed inside the motel, stuff like that.
it. You're a first responder?
You walk up to the hallway even, and if you're like, I'm a spirit walker, which is something we'll talk about some other day, but when I walk in, I can see what's happened, right? Like I can see the energy of stuff, right? So I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna hurt, that type of thing. And so that's where you get the waterfall effect from. It's from unleashed. It's unleashed energy that's not focused, right? That's where the waterfall effect comes from. So, like, a couple guys get shot in the head and die. That energy escapes their body. There's no focus, there's no rhyme, there's no reason, it doesn't know what to do. So for the first little while, it's unleashed. It's like a void
It's like
void
dormant
energy
energy.
bouncing off the walls, basically, until the spirit catches up to its energy and says, okay, wait, dude, we're just shot, right? There's going to be this wild bull running up and down the hallways, sort of a thing. I don't know if that's the only way I can make it, where someone might understand what I'm talking about.
Are you a first responder?
I have
saying
been.
something about.
Yeah, I have been. I've been a first responder. It just depends on the situation. Like
I heard you say you get called to the scene of
I get called
accidents
to a
and
lot of
stuff.
different places and stuff. It just depends if the diocese wants me over there or the council.
What is your job though? What exactly is it that you do that requires you to get called to the scene?
Well, I'm a full-time shaman and a full-time nature druid. So
Oh,
I
okay.
get lots of different councils and a lot of different dioceses and stuff that call me to different situations. So,
Yeah,
but I
that's
work
never easy.
for the council, and the council decides, oh, yeah, well, we try to deal with this situation 14 ways. There's no solution. Get your ass over there and fix it. And I'm like, well, gee, thanks.
Um,
I appreciate
Oh,
that.
thanks.
You know, thanks a lot. Did anyone ask me if I wanted to? You know, so. But yeah, it's just that's all it is, really.
I never thought about people doing that being called to scenes right after they happen like that. I was on the fire department for 4 years, so I know how it is to, be right at a scene, after something bad like that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks for saying what you said about the whole water thing. That kind of does make sense to me. You kind of like a residue of energy type thing, like what
Yeah,
Jim was
well,
speaking of earlier, right?
a lot of times the pulsating water it's not residual, it's just unleashed. It still hasn't settled, right?
Yeah.
Once the energy or the spirit that released that energy realizes what's going on, it returns back to where it's supposed to be. It returns back to the form of the person who released it in the first place, right? But there is that time period where it's just the energy's just been released, like think of us as balloons, and our spirits are the water inside a balloon. Now, if someone takes a pin and goes poke, right?
Okay.
Our spirit's just going to go boom. The water's going to go boom, right? So
Because the body's like vessels. Yeah.
the vessel carrying it
Mhm.
has been shattered. So everything inside the vessel just kind of explodes outward, right? But realizing that the water inside the balloon or the thing inside the vessel is all actually one thing, it returns back to its form. Like once the initial shock, the initial explosion goes, it's like, whoa, pull yourself together, man, right? And it returns back to its proper form and starts to think and starts to move and look around and go, okay, let's piece this shit together. What just happened, right? So that's a, and that type of thing is always when it's a freak car accident or violent interaction that wasn't supposed to happen that just happened,
Something sudden. Yeah.
something sudden, yeah, and it's just like taking a pin to a water balloon, right? The spirit and the energy just go, and it takes a minute. It takes a few minutes for the spirit and the energy to go, whoa, what the hell was that? And then literally it says, let's pull ourselves together here, right? And then the water effect disappears, right? Because the energy is not fluctuating and vibrating and shimmering and all that crap.
I never thought of it like that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And
Danny's
But
awesome.
let Chad or Sonny take over because I've got a bad habit of my ADD kicking over, and I'll talk forever.
No, that's okay, dude. That's why you're starting a
You guys
podcast.
are doing good.
But the main thing is tell your friend, okay? Tell your friend.
This is a close relative, very, very close
Okay,
relative.
tell your relative, whoever. But tell them they're okay. Like, don't discount yourself for who you are or what you are. I mean, it's okay to take a vacation, right?
Yeah, and she's
Sooner
still
or
a
later,
teenager. She's a young teenager.
Sooner or later, when it's time, you're going to accept these things, and then you're going to have to learn about them, and you're going to have to deal with them. Okay, make sure to find someone, but don't be afraid to ask people for help. The worst thing, the main thing that happens with people with gifts is they either try to hide it or they don't want to ask for help because they feel whatever, and that's the worst thing you can do. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And to whoever you are, if you're listening to this podcast now or later or anytime, whoever you are, you're not alone, okay? If you're at a point where you're so confused and so upset and so angry or you just need help or whatever for any reason, get a hold of me, okay? I'll be here for you. I'll be here for anybody. Never think you have to walk through this alone. There's always going to be people. And so if you can't find someone else, if you can't find someone to say, hey, slow down and help you to at least deal with it a little better, then don't be shy. Just get a hold of me, and I'll get a hold of me on my channel or whatever, or on my Facebook. Just send me a message, and I'll chit chat with you. You know what I mean? Until you can find somebody that can tutor you. Okay. I don't want anyone to feel like they're drowning out there. And that goes with anyone in the wolf pack. I mean, there's a lot of people in my pack. You look at anybody that comes to my stuff. Any one of them. If somebody needs help, you can go to them. They will definitely be there. Anyone in this community, don't be afraid to. If there's someone in the community that you feel comfortable enough to talk to, then do that. Okay. Don't try to deal with this on your own because it's too much. Okay. But
It's
we're
very
all
transformative too. I was gonna say, speaking to other people, like what I'm doing right now, like all these people I've met, totally kind of happened on accident. But I mean, it's God, I'm so grateful for it. Just
nothing
giving
happens
other
by
people.
accident, mate. You were dragged here,
Yeah,
kicking and
yeah,
screaming.
you're right.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be more spot on with that. My first experience, which I've dealt with some more kind of paranormal stuff, but mainly orbs, and whether you want to call it, UFO, extraterrestrial, or paranormal, I think it's all connected in some type of way. But I actually stayed in denial about it for about 5 years, and I had this sighting with my best friend who I shared a near-death experience with. We almost got killed together. We got hit by a drunk driver 10 years ago. And I see this thing in the sky. It shouldn't be real. I know it shouldn't be real. It looks like a bright star. They've heard me tell the story like a million times now. My friend actually points it out, and I make a joke about it being Jupiter or Venus. And about 30 minutes later, I'm in the middle of a conversation. This bright light, it's at a standstill where it's been, and it curves off like this in a backward seat. But I mean, just like that, and it's gone. And I immediately start to rationalize, think my eyes are playing tricks on me. My friend, he just says, dude, did you just fucking see that? And, it shocked me. We sat there and talked about it for a little bit. And then for whatever reason, still kind of just weird. I mean, I don't know how to wrap my head around today because I feel like it should have had more an effect on me than it did. But I never spoke to anybody about it for about 5 years. And it wasn't until last year that I started opening up about it. And then it seemed like experiences started to happen further after that, just like just really escalated rate. It's like once I started paying attention to it, it started showing itself to me.
Yeah, that's always that is. I think that's I don't know, cute. I suppose people always think that when they have an experience, it should affect them a certain way. Why? I mean, why? Just because you have an experience doesn't mean it's going to be. It might be the tinkler's shit on a hot tin roof. I mean, but.
I feel like I should have questioned it more.
A lot of times, for a lot of people, it's just like, whatever. But then that experience was given to you for an event that you haven't seen yet, right? So now think of it as there's your introduction to things that are coming, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it might not be anything that's really going to affect you in any way at that time. It's not until later when something else happens that's kind of connected to that. And that's when the brain starts to put the puzzles together, right? That's when it starts to matter. It doesn't matter at the time because it's not connected to shit, right?
Yeah. It's like Sonny with his My Lab experience. Sorry.
Random act of whatever the hell it was happens. You're not paying attention to. You don't give a rat's ass about it, let's be honest. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Moving on. Because you're not even focused. You don't give a shit about it, right? But then something else happens and another random act, and you're like, wait, what the hell is going on? Am I actually seeing this crap? Like, what is going on here now? All right, and then something else happened. It's like, okay, this is really starting to piss me off. And that's when people get interested, not before, A lot of times it's just like, I don't give a tinker's dab on a hot tin roof, like it doesn't matter to me. Well, something else happens, and something else happens, something else, and then it becomes an issue that now you're interested. You see,
right?
Don't
I
ever
think
think
something
that
similar.
just because it happens, there is no proper reaction to it. Some people freak out and poop their pants, and other people just go, whatever. I mean, the reaction thing, there's no limit either way of what's going to happen when something like this happens. Some people freak out, they hide underneath their bed for 6 weeks, and then, is that you, Mom? And they finally come out of their bed. I mean, there's no right or wrong thing for it. I mean, you can't judge until it happens to you what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't be this way or that way. It just is what it is. Whatever's how it affects you is how it affects you, and just roll with it. That's my advice is just roll with whatever. So
yeah, Sonny's had a pretty bizarre dream. I'm sure I don't think he's going to get into it tonight, but I feel like that's kind of like the similar case with him. I mean, I heard this dream from Sonny a couple of times, and it wasn't until I heard it very detailed the other day, and I'm like, man, that sounds like an experience to me.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
we've
so
always believed that dreams, okay, are two things. Well, three things. Dreams are dreams, right? They're just dreams. They're just what the human mind has gone through all day and all week and all this shit, and it just puts it into a dream, so it deals with it and moves it out. So that's one part of a dream. Another aspect of a dream is a lot of us feel that it's ancestors or relatives or friends that have passed on who are trying to give you some sort of a message. They're trying to teach you something or warn you about something, right?
mhm,
So
yeah,
there's that aspect of the dream, and the other aspect is from seers and people that um, have different sensory abilities will have a dream of something that hasn't happened yet. It's a glimpse into the future. And then a few days go by and you're like, holy crap, didn't we do all this already? Didn't we have this conversation? Didn't this just happen? That's the third type of dream, which is an opening, right? It's an opening to what's coming, right? Or premonition, I guess is another word people say. So those are
right,
your three
yeah,
basic dream patterns. So when you dream something, I mean, if it's not something that you can say is just a random dream, then it's probably one or the other two. You're either seeing what's coming, right? Or it's someone trying to warn you or tell you something, so that you don't
right,
so that you don't walk into that situation without, being prepared.
yeah. I totally agree. I mean, I think we can astral project in our dreams, and dude, I think dreams are just like a whole dimension on its own. I want to hear from Sony and Chad about some of their dream experiences. I have a dream that I've told plenty of times to Chad and Sony where I saw a deceased relative, like you said, and it was almost exactly a year, literally 3 days from a year after that dream that I had my near death experience. And this dream to this day I can remember every single detail to it. It was more realistic than reality, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of weird dreams where random little details have come true. I spoke about one earlier to Gemma. Another one not too long ago. For some reason, I just remember seeing a old school looking yellow punch buggy, and was thinking about it for whatever reason. I'm at my job driving in the truck with my coworker, and I even mentioned it to him. And then we pull up in this yard that we'd never been to this job. Didn't hadn't seen a picture of the yard online or anything, and there's a fucking yellow punch buggy, just like I saw in my dream in the driveway. And I mean, it shook me. And my coworker looks at me and he's like, "Man, you got to be fucking with me right now." I'm like, "Dude, like I don't know." And he's like, "No, you drove by this house yesterday after you got off work, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Man, look, I swear to God, like I have no idea." But yeah,
Yeah.
Chad, man,
Well, don't forget, don't
sorry, go
forget
ahead.
dreams. But your answer to that isn't as hard to once you think about this. Your answer to that isn't as bizarre because dreams are subconscious. Everybody says it's all your subconscious. Everything else is subconscious. This, subconscious, that, right? Well, your subconscious is your spirit too. So your spirit lives in that realm. Your spirit is a part of your subconscious, right? Your spirit doesn't
Right,
stand in front of you and say, "Hey, dude, let's do this. Hey, dude, let's do that." No, it talks to you. That's that voice in your head that you hear that "Hey, dude, this is really a bad idea." And then you go, "Shut up. We're going to do it anyway." That's your spirit talking to you. Okay. Now, when you dream, that is in your subconscious, right? So to your spirit, to your inner self, that dream is as real can be. It's as solid as this table is to me. Okay.
yeah,
Because the message is coming to your subconscious, who is your spirit. Your message is in the subconscious. So if both things are in the same reality, if your subconscious spirit is in the same reality as your subconscious dream, why wouldn't it be solid? You're in the same room as your table. Why wouldn't your table be solid? Right?
right,
So to your spirit, that memory or that picture or that scene that you saw is as fresh to that spirit and as real as if it would have happened to you while you were awake, right? It remembers. So obviously you're going to remember. So you're going to see these details. You're going to see these things when you're awake and going, "Holy crap, I've seen all this before." Well, yeah, you have because your spirit was already there. right? And it's real to the spirit. You see, it's as real to the spirit as it is to you right now, because now you're seeing it. Before it was just a dream; it was nothing. But now that it's in your face, oh crap, it's real. No, jackass, it was real to your spirit 3 days ago. You just happened to catch up. You know,
because time doesn't exist, right? Isn't that, would that make sense?
You know, there's ley lines and there's timelines, and our spirits can run up and down the ley lines. They can run up and down the timelines, just like we go for a walk outside or we go in our car, we drive someplace. You know, to them, that's their highways, right? The timeline, they go up and down the timeline. They go across the world in the blink of an eye on the ley lines. To them, that's their highway. We don't have that luxury, right? So a lot of times, when say our spirit, as you would say, what a lot of people will call astral travel, like you would say, a lot of times our spirit will go, zoom, take off somewhere, right? We'll be sleeping in bed. And it goes around, checks out the planet, whatever. And, but it collects this information as it's going, right? Now it comes back. Now it's not purposely passing off this information to you, but it's a part of you already now. Now you've experienced it, not physically, but mentally and spiritually, you've already experienced it. So when it does happen, and that's when your body catches up to your experience, right? And then you're like, okay, yeah, this is familiar. This is freaky. No, it's just your body's finally caught up to where your spirit already went, right? So like your boss could have said to you or the other boss or somebody say, we're going to be working at this address next couple of days. You could have been lying in bed thinking about work. Your spirit says, well, let's go check it out, right? It goes up, it sees the place, sees the car, sees everything, goes, yeah, it's fine. Comes back to you. It didn't go there to get information for you. It went there to make sure you're going to be safe, right? Sees no danger, so it comes back and just your dream is just your dream. There's no horror element to it, right? There's nothing bad about it. It's just a dream. Well, your spirit just went to check out to make sure you're going to be safe. So then when you get there, you're seeing all this stuff and you're like, what the hell, right? A lot of times that's what happens, you know?
I kind of feel like that would kind of tie into deja vu as well. I was speaking to somebody else about this the other day, talking about parallel realities in time and just a lot of that crazy stuff. But do you think what you were just saying that will kind of apply to deja vu and why we get that feeling?
For deja vu, your mind or your astral spirit or your body or for whatever reason you got on that timeline. Okay, the timeline is an infinite play. It continues 24/7 and never stops, and it goes way far ahead. There's no start or end to it. Okay, every once in a while, for whatever reason, our spirit will jump on that thing. Maybe it's bored and wants to go do something. I don't know. Or maybe it wants to go to corners. I really don't know. But for whatever reason, your spirit will jump ahead just to see what's coming because of whatever reason it wants to. Right? It might be to protect you. It might be to make sure your path is clear. It might be to warn you because look, up here, there's going to be this truck coming, and if you go down this road, you're going to get hit by this transport. So don't go this way today, So your spirit will do this naturally because it's there to protect you. Like everybody always says, well, we got spirit guides to protect us. We got animals to protect us. Well, okay, that's all well and fine. Well, why don't you realize your own spirit does these things to protect you too? Right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got my guys, I got my protectors, everything else, but my own spirit, it's going to be watching my ass too, because guess what? My ass is his ass. He's got an invested interest to make sure I'm okay. Right? So don't forget, your own spirit will protect you. So it will go and check things out while you're sleeping.
Hey, Danny, I've got a question for Chad Smith up here, actually. Yeah, putting you in the spotlight on you, buddy.
What's up, dude?
You spoke earlier about people, I guess if people have abilities or if they're tapped into something and they don't use it for, I guess you said like before puberty or whatever. What I was going to say is, say we're speaking about somebody, maybe Chad Smith, maybe not Chad Smith, maybe people who have like abilities or some kind of connections that aren't quite aware of it, or maybe they're already having them and they're not just aware of it. Like the reason I bring this up with Chad, he doesn't have any experiences that he's aware of, but for some reason he's drawn to be doing what he's doing right now. And I feel like there's some specific reason for that. How would you I don't know, just
Like
like
instead of
how
just a
yeah,
general interest, I have more of like a
passion, all right.
like a like I'm supposed to be doing this. It's like a task I'm
A drive.
supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
Of course you are.
What do you think would
So
be like the best thing for him to do to be like I don't know, like Chad, I can't speak for you, but like I pretty much I was
you're,
kind of just like
it's okay, you
setting it
can
up for
speak.
Chad to take over. No.
You know, what? Here's what it is, okay? You're doing what you're supposed to do. People need to get connected, okay? Think of it this way. Chad's spirit is outgoing. It's reaching his care. It's always looking for answers. He's got a very curious spirit, okay? And his
Definitely.
personality, too. You know, that's his personality, just from the few times I've met him and seen him myself. But he always wants to reach out and fix everything, okay? Can't always, but
Peacemaker.
but you know, by doing this, he's allowing other people to reach out to other people and fix things. So it's a part of who he is, really. Like, it's like doing this. It's not that it's important, okay? Because that's not the thing, and it's not that it's a drive. He's not doing this because he's driven to do this. He's not doing this because he's obsessed to do it. He's doing these podcasts because he needs to. You know, it's simple as he needs to feel the community. He needs to see what this community is about. He needs to see who he can bring into the community to help other people. It's about being a voice for the people who don't speak. Okay, it's about being able to say stuff or to get stuff out that other people want to, but they're afraid to, or they don't want to ask the questions. They don't want to put themselves out there. So he's their voice, you know. He's their interaction with the people who live with this crap every day, right? So he's the go-between, and that's his job, you know, to help bring the community together, to help people find answers, to make people get in contact with other people who can help them. You know, you've heard him often say on his podcast and stuff, if you're not here right now, but you're listening to this later, you've heard him say stuff like that lots of times, okay? That's because his spirit is guiding him. This is his need. It's like a calling. So he's putting these markers out there, and people later on, they come along, they watch the podcast, and they go like, how the hell did he know, right? How did he know that I needed to hear this right now? Because that's what his spirit wants him to do. That's why he knows. It's you know, so he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, you know. And I think we all get that. Like, for me, working in the paranormal, my first job was to go to a burial grounds, sacred burial grounds, to cleanse the land, because the lands had got tainted, and the spirits and the elementals and everything were pissed, right? Because of the disrespect that these people claim they have this faith and they have this belief and that the grounds are sacred, but they were treating it like a dump. And they were very disrespectful to the land, to the community. Was terrible to the place. That hit me like a ton of bricks when I first got there. That was the boom. So it took like 4 or 5 days to get everything settled down, to get the land grain. And now the reason I got called there was because of the spike in suicides. Okay. People would go there, and 3 or 4 weeks later, people that would visit there either attempted or did commit suicide after being there for a while. So that's the reason that my group got interested in it, basically, and that's how I ended up having to go there in the first place. But after I went there and found out all the different problems the spirits were having, I didn't give crap about the people, but once I talked to all the different spirits and talked to the elementals and Mother Earth and found out what was actually going on, I got them to call a town meeting, and I told them all what a bunch of shitheads they were and how to fix it and what they're going to have to do from now on. And then they did, right? They did that very thing. It took 4 days to organize everything. It took all this time. We got everything done. Since that time, okay, now think about this. This is 53 years ago, okay? Since that time, there's not been one recorded suicide in that whole area.
Wow.
But up until we went there and checked out with the spirits and the negative energy becomes a spirit itself, right? You hear poltergeist, whatever. That's really basically, it's a negative energy that's been fed so much, it's become a living being, right?
Kind of parasitic.
Right. And it was so strong, it was taking all this negativity and throwing it on the people that would visit. So a person would go there. So anything negative that happened anywhere in the town, all that anger and despair was thrown onto each person going to that place. And that played on them for, all of a sudden they went from a happy-go-lucky person to this zombie type person who killed himself. Right?
This becomes a continuous cycle over and over.
Right. So we went there, we got everything done, we got the place treated with respect again, we got everything working again, and ever since then, the entire area. So it went from I think it was 13 or 14 suicides in 6 months, right, to nothing for 53 years.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Amazing.
Wow. So people who say the spirits don't react, or people that say that, your actions don't affect other people, right?
Everything is energy.
All the negative and disrespectful actions of the people in that area became into one thing. And that's what happens. When you spread negativity, it becomes negative. When you spread positivity, it becomes something positive. So it keeps spreading itself over and over and over again.
Everything is energy. Yeah. Sorry,
I was just going to say, that's a hell of an accomplishment that the town pulled through and worked together to make that work.
Right. And it had squat to do with me. I just pointed out what was wrong. It was their efforts, their hard work, the fact that they said, oh, yeah, right, we believe in this stuff. Why aren't we following it through? It was their realization, okay? They're the ones that did this. I pointed out what was wrong. That's it. I told them how to fix it. I showed them. I was there the first couple of days while we worked on it. But I told them, you guys are going to be the ones that have to continue this, right? If you don't continue this, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Right?
Continue to keep the positive vibes going.
Right. Keep the vibes going and make this a tradition that once a week the 4 or 5 people come out here throughout the whole town and just feed the spirits and feed Mother Earth, and just do this. And you know what? They'll always be happy, right? You'll never have this ever happen again. And to their credit, they still do it every day. I go out there every couple of years just to check on things. And, I'll go out there and I'll see plates of food, and I'll see glasses of water, and I'll see these things. Town's still doing it. After all these years, they're still pulling through. So
that's awesome.
I'm very proud of the town now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When I first went there, I was despised by the entire town. By the time I left there, I was very proud of that town, for how they all pulled through. So, and they've kept doing it, 53 years now. They haven't stopped. So, that's credit to them, right?
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I don't mean to put any negativity out there, but I just recently lost a friend of mine from high school, suicide. That's a great accomplishment.
Suicide. I've dealt with that, and it's the worst thing, because the people left behind are the ones that have to clean up the mess, and they're like, well, why didn't I see it, or why couldn't I do this? Because you couldn't.
Why didn't they come to me? Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's their actions. It's not your act. You can't take responsibility for other people's actions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's being said, it doesn't make it any easier, and it doesn't make it that you're not going to, right?
Right.
Because that's our nature. Our nature is to with our friends and family, we want to protect them, and so yeah. There's a few people in my life that even today I'm like, damn, why'd you do that? Dickhead. And that was 40 years ago. I've lost friends, and it's still to this day. I'll get days where it just sits on me, and it's a very heavy cross.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's one of the things we say at the invention. You guys, keep in mind, maybe for you, you think it's over when you do this, but now you've got to deal with those actions
Right.
Yeah.
in the new life.
Yeah.
But think of all the shit you're putting everybody else through because you gave up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the bottom line is you gave up. You checked out. Now, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, your friends, your coworkers, everyone that's been attached to your life in any way has to deal with that for the rest of their life. So you're not making anything better. You're making it worse, right?
Right.
And, and that's just the cold hard facts of it. Like I'm not going to butter it up and give you a bunch of flowers. That's the facts. That's what happens,
I understand that.
And, but
and it's crazy how sometimes it can come from the most unexpected people.
it always does. That's the thing, because people that are actually considering that type of stuff, they're never going to show you they're hurting. They're gonna be acting 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we're always like, damn, that's a surprise, because no one's gonna see it coming because they're so professional at hiding everything.
Yeah.
So you can't blame yourself for that.
Robin Williams was really good about covering it up.
Yeah.
Hey, let's change topics a little bit, Danny.
Yeah.
How did you meet Sherry? We had Sherry Brett on the Chad Smith podcast a couple weeks ago. She's really cool to talk to.
Oh,
and she said nothing but good things about you. So
that's my daughter. I love her to death.
She's awesome.
So your daughter?
Yeah. Well, I said so that makes it law. But anyway, I was watching her for a long time, butts, and I do that. Like a few people out there don't think I watch your channel. Good. But anyway.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. I'm always watching.
Checking in.
That's what I do.
That's awesome.
And so I was lurking her channel for months before I even typed anything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like your guys' channel. I've been looking your channel, and then, just give you guys heads up for whatever reason I type in, okay, done lurking, bye. I watch from the beginning until I type in, I'm done lurking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, man.
But that's what I was doing with her. And then one day she did a podcast, or not a podcast, I don't know, some live thing. I don't know, is that a podcast? I don't know. I don't even know what a podcast is. But,
you're on one.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just a live stream as far as I know.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is, man. Just guys getting together and talking, and
okay.
Then they post it up.
She was on there, and she'd been getting a rough time, and then she was talking about being alone, and I was like, no, kid, you're my daughter, So I contacted her and left her a message, and kind of blew her mind, because where the hell did you come from, right? Like it just, and then we started talking and stuff, and of course, become more and more connected as you do. And so it was just something that the spirits had meant to be, and something that Astro had planned before I even, I had no idea. But I guess when she was born, Astro knew about it. And so his daughter, Astro's daughter, became her protector. Because Astro, you think about this now, they run up and down the timeline all the time. They knew where we would be today, 100 years ago, right? They all run up and down the timeline. So they said, well, when we get there, it will make a big impact on their belief system, and on especially on Sherry's belief system, when she finds out my daughter is taking care of his daughter, right?
Wow. Sorry, you saying Astral?
Astro did that on purpose, yeah.
What do you mean by Astral? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Josh doesn't.
He doesn't know. He might not
Josh
know
doesn't know who
that is,
Astro
Danny.
is.
Oh, he doesn't know he's a bird.
You better tell him. I love this story.
Yeah, Astro's awesome.
Fill me in.
Astro's my fire elemental, my guardian, my brother.
Okay, I had a feeling it was something supernatural.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
He's my brother. He's my butthead, and he's self-admitted the oldest elemental, right? Like he's been around forever, sort of a deal. And the first time he saw me, he laughed at me, so I called him a butthead, and then he said, "Hey, I like you, kid," and we've been buddies ever since. So
You'll see him on camera every now and then. He's like a dark shadow that moves from one side of the screen to the other. It's pretty crazy. I've seen it a couple times, actually.
So like a shadow figure, or is it like an orb, or what? Or orbs don't. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. To me, he's just Astro. I look at him, I see him just as I see you guys. But
so what form
sometimes people see him as a mist. Sometimes they see him. He's not a dot. Okay, Astro is never an orb.
Like a fiery orb.
You know, like if he's an orb, he's gonna have sparkles on this dude. Okay, he's a butthead. He wants to be okay. So he's not gonna be your everyday orb. He's gonna be a wall of smoke. He's gonna be a great big huge walking shadow. He's gonna be a huge shadow he's gonna be something that you're gonna notice. You know, he's not shy, Astro. You know, and he loves to razz everybody. So he's funny. So yeah,
that must be with age. It comes with age. He's been around so long. He's just like, I know how to deal with these guys.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like everybody thinks, oh, you're so patient. How are you so patient, Wolf? It's not that I just don't give a shit. Okay, I'm just not that age where it's nothing about pay. I don't give a shit. No.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say, hearing you say that he appears as a shadow figure, sometimes it makes me feel a little bit better. These guys know I've had one encounter with a shadow figure, and I'll be honest, it scared the shit out of me. I'm kind of used to seeing the orbs now, but that freaked me out, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a big misconception. Everybody thinks that shadow figures are evil or they're bad or whatever. That's a crock of shit. Okay, look.
Well, I never felt threatened.
A spirit is going to show itself. A spirit, if it wants to show itself, will show itself in the easiest way it can for itself. Why should it waste energy, right? Just like us. Like, to me, orbs are is just a method of travel for them. It's like we jump in a car and we go from point A to point B, right? Well, for a spirit, think about everything in life, the circle of life. The word circle of life should be enough to say, hey, I want to go from point A. What's going to give me the least resistance of travel? A perfect spirit, right? A circle, So spirits will use that because it's blink of an eye technique. They go from one side of the world to the other in the blink of an eye. And then when they get there, that's when people will say, oh, look, I seen a shadow person, or I seen this orb and it seemed to translucent and it started to take this shape and then disappeared. It's because now once they get to where they're going, they get out of the damn car. Right? So that's the way I look at it anyway. But there are shadow beings, okay? Now, they're typically not the people you want to invite over for dinner, okay? But shadow people, shadow figures, shadow this, shadow that, they're all total different things. They have nothing to do with each other, It's just the way that spirit at this point in time knows how to show itself, right? It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean anything other than the fact that I'm here. See me, And I think a lot of people put way too much emphasis just on, and I'm talking only about the vision of it, of seeing it, okay? If you see it and then something happens, then you can judge what it is more. You know what I'm saying, right? But the mere presence of one is not neither good or bad. It's just a spirit. Its intentions we don't know its intentions until it shows it, right? But just because there's a shadow doesn't make it good or bad. Or just because there's a spark of light doesn't make it good. Doesn't make it bad either. It's just a spirit energy that we have no idea what its plan is. Okay. So, I mean, don't judge a book by its cover, basically.
Right. Well, I know I told Chad this. I never felt threatened. I kept trying to tell myself, like I wanted to force myself to believe that it was a figment of my imagination. But it was literally the day after I'd left Chris Bledsoe's house. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Bledsoe family, but they attract a variety of phenomena. So that fact alone kind of, it's kind of
Yeah,
hard for
some
me, even though I
mythology.
want to tell myself I don't. I want to tell myself it was a figment of my imagination just because of how bad it freaked me out. But I never felt threatened at all.
Yeah.
I was actually in a very good mood
Well, I
whenever I
mean, I
seen it.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think it was bad then. You know, if you.
My mom's asking a question. Do you ask for signs, or do you think that works? Like,
Oh yeah, of course it works.
I do. I do
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, here's the problem with people that ask for signs, generally speaking. Okay. I need a sign to show me that this is working. So the sign happens. And then was that a sign?
I was going to say, they never
Well,
come
why
the
did
way
you
I'm
ask? I
expecting.
mean, you ask for
Yeah.
something to happen, it happens, and then you go, well, was that a sign? So why'd you ask for a sign? Yeah, of course they happen. But since you don't believe it in the first place because you need a sign, then the sign happens. That's not going to change nothing. You're still not going to believe it because now you're going to question this. That's the sign. So, yes, they happen all the time. No, people don't see them all the time.
yeah.
I was going to say, I ask for signs all the time, but they never come the way I'm expecting.
You know, it's like, yeah, sure, here's your sign. It's just like that comedy guy. Oh, here's your sign.
Here's your sign.
But they don't. But nobody believes it when it does happen. They go, "Wow, was that my sign?"
I know my mom does. She'll say like, "Hey, if you think I'm on the right path," she'll talk to like one of her parents or something, and say, "Hey, if you think I'm on the right path, show me palm trees." And then the next day, somebody on the live stream said something about palm trees, and she was like, "Okay,
yeah,
all right, I got it."
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with her on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm really big into synchronicities, and I mean, nobody can convince me that synchronicities aren't real. And I've been telling everybody, the more you look for them, the more you'll see them. And somebody else told me that, and I believe it 100%.
Yeah, no, it's they're there, and you think about it. Everybody says, "Well, can you show me a sign?" You're talking to a loved one who was with you all your life, who's always cared for you. And if you ask for a sign, why wouldn't they give you one? Hello. Right? Like,
yeah.
Seriously? Of course they're going to let you know.
Yep. Right.
They didn't stop loving you. They're in just a different place than you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure when I die, I'm gonna be the first human investigator. I'm gonna be a ghost going out and investigating, are people real?
That's a good idea, man.
I tried to prove to the other spirits that humans do exist. That's gonna be my job, I think, when I go over.
I just got a shirt for Christmas that's got an alien head on it, like a gray head on it, and it says "Humans aren't real" underneath it.
That's right.
That'd be a good one for you.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a ghost investigator.
There you go.
Come back and just to find out whether or not humans are real.
Human investigator.
It's funny. Like whenever you said that, I got a picture in my head of some humans. I mean, some ETs or something like that, looking through a microscope and seeing like humans, like we would if we're looking down at like bacteria or something.
I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be sitting there and I'm going to be arguing with the humans. Would you guys knock it off? You're messing with my spirit box. So we're going to have a good time.
My human box is going off.
I didn't mean to compare
my human box is going off. Oh, look. My LED lights are going. There must be a human nearby.
That's pretty good.
So I'm going to be a pretty good investigator. I got all the ideas on how to investigate. I've even got trigger objects in mind. I'm going to put up a bottle of beer and some tea and some
a bottle of beer. That'll get them every time.
So I'll put out these trigger objects for these humans and see if I can't get evidence that they exist.
Yep.
So
put a Bud Light in the window. Somebody will grab it.
That's what I'm going to do. So I think it should be a pretty good job when I get over.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. At least you got a plan worked out.
Hey, you got to have a retirement plan. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I told Sonny and Chad whenever I die, I want Freebird played at my funeral, and it has to be the 30-minute version. If not, I'm gonna haunt the shit out of both of them for the rest of my life.
Great. I'm going before you then.
I think for mine, I gotta have Little Red Riding Hood played at my funeral. I think that'd be a good song.
Are you talking about the version that Hey there, little Red
That's the
Riding
one.
Hood.
That's
Yeah.
my theme song.
That's a good one.
Now, that's my theme song. I gotta have that played.
That's
You
awesome.
sure are looking good.
Yeah. You're everything a big
Big
bad
bad
wolf could
wolf.
want.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
the one, baby.
Oh, he's
That's
on
the
camera.
one.
It's a good one, buddy.
That dog
Yeah.
loves being on camera. Hi,
He does.
buddy.
Hey,
He's
puppies.
coming to see Danny.
Hi,
You
buddy.
be on TV, buddy? Huh?
Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. Yeah,
He's
give him
so
a kiss.
cool.
He likes that. Give him a kiss. Go
What's
ahead.
up, dude?
Give him a kiss. Give him a kiss.
Kisses?
Good
Oh, no
puppy.
kisses, huh? He getting
So,
drunk.
Sonny, whenever the Blackhawks fly over your house, does your dog freak
Man,
out, or does he let you
You
know
and
ahead
I
of time?
get it all somewhere, and they just Black Hawks and F-16s constantly every day now. Let them come to your house.
No, I don't want him over my house.
Might have something to do with your My Lab experience too, Sonny. I'm playing. I don't know, maybe.
I gotta go run this dog in real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, no problem, man.
He's cold.
Hey, PPNY, how you going there? Big hugs. Hey, Cindy, big hugs. Hi, Annie, big hugs.
I also wanted to ask Sonny something. He's been kind of quiet. I mean, it's his podcast.
Oh, Connor said that Red Riding Hood is a Dogman story.
Ah, I never thought of that before. That's.
Can somebody tell me what that name is? I can't really see it well.
That's Bigfoot Anon. That's Connor.
It's Connor, yeah.
Connor.
I'm
But the one
sorry,
that says
go
puppy, puppy, puppy. How do you say that name? Puppy, puppy, puppy.
Puppy, puppy, puppy. Where's that one? Oh, right here. Brown dot flop.
Yeah.
Brown dot flop.
Is that brown dot flop?
Yep.
What's his or her name?
Oh
Some
yeah,
dog's name,
that's
Sonny?
Rocky. That's my weenie dog, Rocky.
Rocky Balboa.
Hi, sweetie. Yeah,
So,
well, I'm dyslexic, so when there's words that I've never seen before, I can't make hide or hair out of them. So that's why I was wondering what the name said.
I wanted to ask Danny about Astro again for a minute, or Astral with Sonny. So do you guys have something?
Asked about, so go ahead. My butthead likes to wait. Go ahead, ask away.
I feel like I've already asked like the last 3 questions. Sonny, Chad, y'all.
No,
Y'all
you're
got
fine,
something?
man. You might even
Yeah,
be able
you're
to
doing
ask
good.
Astro a question if you want.
Oh, man,
Astro
that'd
might
be
even
awesome.
come up on camera.
That would be awesome.
Go ahead, ask.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you remember your first encounter with them, or the first time you knew for a fact that you were dealing with something? 'Cause I'm unfamiliar with this story, so I'd love to be filled in.
Okay, here we go.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
fill me in. All right, sit back. I got my lucky football.
When I first met Astro, I was like 4 or 5, and we're at the homestead, and I wanted to go swimming, and I didn't have my boat coat on. I don't know, life jacket, I guess they call that. I didn't have my boat coat anyway, so I said, "Well, I'm going for a swim. Is what I'm going to do." So I went down to go swimming because I was a butthead too, apparently, and I went swimming, but I didn't have my boat coat on, so of course I started to drown. So I'm in the water and I'm, I see daylight, see water, see daylight. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, these 2 wolves come, white wolves. One grabs this side of my jacket, one grabs that side of my jacket, and they pull me onto land, onto the shore. Okay, so I'm on the beach. And they're looking down at me and they're, well, then, of course, the family, they see these wolves pulling me across, they got a little nervous. They come flying down the hill. The 2 wolves, they start walking down the beach. And our beach is silica sand, right? So if there's tracks or if you put your handprint, it's going to be there in 100 years unless the water comes up and washes it, right? Anyway, you see the tracks, they're walking down and they come down. And now everybody's seen the wolves. That's why they come running in the first place, right? So they can't deny they didn't see it. But they got halfway down the beach and everybody's looking at them and they were walking. They stopped, they turned, they looked back at me like this. They looked at each other and then they just vanished. Like they didn't take a step. They didn't walk into the woods. They just kind of like a mirage disappeared, right? And then my dad is looking at the footprints, and from where they were standing, they just sort of evaporated right to where we were. So all the steps just kind of just like if someone took an eraser and went, the steps were gone. Okay, so during all this, which I really had, this is what that part they've all told me 100 million times what happened there. That part I wasn't really focused on because I'm lying there looking in this tree, and there's the butthead. Okay, so I'm looking up at Astro, and he's decided for whatever reason to take the form of like a gargoyle, and he's sitting there, he's looking down, laughing his ass off about the whole thing. Right?
What?
So he's chuckling away. He's probably the one that sent the wolves in the first place to save me, right? But he's sitting there chuckling away. I looked at him. I said, "You butthead! I'm drowning, and you're sitting in a tree laughing at me, right?"
Right.
He even laughed even harder, and he said, "Kid, I like you forever. You're my brother. I'm going to be with you, right?" Anyway, of course, the parents and everybody's looking at me, saying, "Who are you talking to?" And I went, "A butthead, Astro."
How old were you? I'm sorry to interrupt. How old were you?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
Wow.
I was like, and that's how me and Astro met, and he's been with me ever since. And I couldn't ask for a better brother or a better friend. I mean, he's very community oriented. Like he helps everybody in the wolf pack. He helps all of the YouTubians. I mean, he's just pretty cool dude. All the way around.
Wow. That's I wasn't expecting that. That kind of makes me think of Skinwalker Ranch, to be honest. I mean, it sounds a little more benevolent, but still a little, I'm not going to say trickster, but definitely a sense of humor. But I mean, just with the wolf and then the thing sitting in the tree, it makes me think of Skinwalker for some reason.
Well, Astro could take whatever form he wants. He's an elemental. He's a fire elemental. Normally, he looks like Ghost Rider, to be honest.
I love Ghost Rider. I'm a Marvel
He
fan.
loves walking around, except he wears a brown cape with a brown hood, and he loves walking around showing off his skull face. When he gets pissed off, he likes to let the fire out. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome looking.
Really?
But I suppose not if he's pissed at you in particular. It wouldn't be very cool. But, I mean, he can take a form of a dragon or a cat or a dog or, it just depends on what spirits are around or if there's child spirits. A lot of the kid spirits like to go for rides, so he turns into this magical Puff the Magic Dragon type thing, and they go. He's just that's the way he is. But
so have other people had experiences with Astro? I mean, I know you said there was other people there that seen these two what sound like spirit animals, but have other than that, have other people had experiences? And I'm sorry because I'm unfamiliar with your story, but
yeah, no, that's fine. Lots and lots and lots of people have had experience with Astro. Astro's helped out tons of people. It's kind of what he does. He just likes to help people, and especially if the people that I know are people I care about, or people, my YouTubians or my wolf pack or anything. He's very, very much interactive with everybody. He goes on other people's spirit boxes and talks to them. And if there's a nasty spirit and someone's doing a spirit box, there's a nasty spirit, they say, "Astro, can you help?" And then you'll hear, and it's always the same voice, always Astro voice. He'll say, "Knock it off" or "Get out." He'll come across the spirit box. And then if they don't leave right away, you hear this really weird burp. We want to talk about that. That's good.
Hey, Danny, who's Shakira?
His wife.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Shakira's his wife.
Cool. So
they've been together like a million years. And
wow.
last weekend, Shakira, not even me say Shakira, but Shakira.
Oh, Shakira.
And she's all happy and everything because they went to the beach and they had a picnic and they drank some wine, and she was telling me about their wonderful day they had over at the falls. So they still go on dates and stuff. And
I'm sorry,
That's
I
amazing.
forgot the girl's name that's like your daughter. I forgot her name for some reason.
Sherry.
Sherry, that's it. Yeah. Sherry. And so that's Astral's wife, and then Astral's daughter is Sherry's
guardian. Yeah.
Guardian. Okay. Yeah. I was making sure I didn't have that.
Aurora.
That's awesome.
Aurora.
I was making sure it was his wife.
Aurora. I love that name. So are you able to contact Astral anytime that you like?
Mostly he contacts me because he's a pain in my ass. Yeah, we live together. I mean, he talks to me all the time. I talk to him all the time. Yeah.
So if I were to ask you like a personal question right now to ask Astral that nobody else that nobody would know the meaning of except for me, would you think you'd get a question or an answer right away, or at least a sign, whatever, however you want to say it?
Well, we can try. Go ahead, ask him. Just say, "Hey, Astro," out loud, and then think of your question. Don't tell me. I don't want to know what you're asking.
Okay, the question isn't going to make sense to anybody except for me. It's kind of personal way I word it.
Yeah,
I
well, go
want
ahead.
to
Ask.
ask is it's a little metaphorical, but it makes sense to me. Is my reflection clear?
I'm not eavesdropping. You go ahead and talk all you want.
Okay, Astro. I'm sorry, this is a little strange. I've never thought I would be doing this. Okay, hi, Astro. Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry. He
Is
says that's okay. Humans are strange anyway. Go ahead, ask.
is my reflection clear? And I guess I can try to phrase that so you can understand a little bit
I don't want
better.
to understand it. I don't need to understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I really don't care. It's between the two of you. I'll just
I
tell
think
you.
I'd have a hard time. I would have a hard time explaining that, anyways. But yeah, I don't know if you're able to. I don't know how you contact him or
Oh, he
how
just
it
talks
works.
to me just like you do. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of a personal thing.
Hang on a sec. What? Okay. As long as you, in this scenario, keep it as hope rather than wishful, then yeah, the scenario is just fine. But if you're gonna start adding wishful to it, you're asking more than that can happen. If that's all he said.
Okay, no, I love that actually. Thank you. That's great.
Resonates, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's that fits perfect actually. I couldn't think of a better answer really.
He
I mean,
says
it's kind of
thank you.
like two.
I think
Sorry,
that meant
guys.
thank you. I don't know.
Good job, butthead.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like one of those answers that I feel like I already knew the answer to, but I mean, just hearing you saying that, it just it resonates a lot.
Confirmation. Oh, Hey, we got confirmation, buddy. Well, confirmation's always good.
Danny, you work with cards too, right? Oracle cards. That's where I first started. Talking to you.
I got my Mahjong cards. They're 45-year-old deck. It's the only deck I ever use. Don't use any other decks. I mean, I not for, I'll play with another deck just to see what they look like, but I don't have any stock in them. And I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, no, this is the only deck that I use.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it for 45 years now, and it's I remember
45 years.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So somebody wanted to buy my deck, and I never thought about it. Right? I said, "Oh well, it's just told them what the deck was and everything else." Apparently, if you want that deck, it'll cost you $10,000 now. So,
jeez,
yeah. I was like, seriously?
Where did you get it from?
It better come with my own personal Danny to read.
For 10 grand, yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't.
Oh
remember.
Wow.
It was a gift.
Huh.
I think Bing gave it to me. I think. I'm pretty sure it was Bing that gave it to me. My brother Bing.
It's cool to give him his gifts.
Years ago, but I think it was him that gave it to me, and yeah, I've had them ever since. Now, when I say I don't take stock in the other ones, means they don't connect to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I use, there's so many decks that I really, really love, especially Cassie with my Michaels. If I need a reading, I see Cassie. That's who does my readings. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't normally go to anyone else. But if I need something to confirm, like say I'm going on a job and there's a demon present or whatever, and I need a reading to get clarification of, whether or not I'm on the right ideal path or whatever. If I got a big job, I'll often go over and say, "Hey, I need a Michael's card," and she'll read my Michael's card, and I get the answer I'm needing. Eh? So I 100% believe in the other cards, and 100% in the people reading the cards. You know, if you're infused with those cards, that's what gives it the magic, right? And for me, the only ones that really work for me are my Mahjong, because we're infused, right? So that's what I meant by I don't get involved with the other cards. It's that, not that they're not as important. They don't work with me because I'm not infused with those cards. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got mine as gifts too. I got 3, actually 2 of them I got from Cassie, the Halloween Oracle,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got the Mystic Martian Oracle deck
Cool.
from Cassie, and then I got this from my sister, the New Moonology deck.
Neat. Oh, that's a good deck.
Yeah, that one's really cool to look through.
Yeah, see, I know plenty of the decks, and I know that it makes me laugh because somebody will ask for a reading, and then I'll see the cards before the person dealing the cards sometimes, and I can tell what the whole reading's going to be before.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I just think it's funny. And so a lot of the cards, a lot of different decks that people are using in the community, I know all the cards, I know all the decks. I mean, fantastic, beautiful decks, But like I say, it just depends on what I need or whatever. But like my go-to, of course, is Oracles and Beyond. Everybody, if you're not linked with Oracles and Beyond, you're on crack. Get off your ass. Go hit that button there.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to Oracles and Beyond.
And roll her bones, because you won't be disappointed. So get off the crack. Go over. Yeah, go over and roll Oracles and Beyond bones. So
She's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Cassie holds this thing together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Couldn't do without
That's
Cassie.
awesome.
And if you're
She
interested
got
in
me.
being on the show, contact
If you're
Cassie.
interested on being on the show, please get a hold of one of our beautiful hosts and hostettes.
Cassie does all of our booking for us.
Yeah, you get a hold of.
He does. I'm pretty sure we work for her now.
That's pretty much.
I think so.
Yep.
She's the
If
boss.
you need subscribers,
She's definitely the boss.
Like, she messaged me and said, "Where the hell you been?" I said, "Well, I was in bed." Get your ass up there. You're late for work, So
When I first started my channel,
she runs the show,
She does. Yep.
when I first started my channel, I needed what was it, something like 20 subscribers, and Cassie got me like 30 or 40 within an hour. So I might be exaggerating, but she did. She got me a shitload of subscribers.
Yeah,
just
she's
like
awesome.
immediately.
No, yeah. If you guys need help with your channels or anything like that, don't ask me. Go.
Yeah, she's the mob boss of the internet.
Just don't keep her too busy, because we need her.
Yeah, I don't do.
Right.
I don't do that kind of shit, So there's lots of help out there, But
Yep. It takes a village, that's for sure.
That's it. Takes a village to raise an idiot. I mean,
Yeah, that's funny. Yep. Don't ask Cassie questions or how she does it. Just let her do it and, and be grateful.
Yeah.
She'll get it done.
I almost
You ask Cassie, well, how'd you do it? And all of a sudden, these guys pop out of nowhere and says, "Don't worry about it. All right,
Don't worry about it.
It's done. Go enjoy your cup of coffee. Okay,
I
don't worry.
got to
about
step away for 1 minute, Chad. Okay.
Okay,
Somebody's
man,
here.
no problem.
I gotta see who it is.
All right, I'll bring Cassie in.
Yeah.
it. Don't worry about it.
Cassie,
Bring Cassie and
Cassie
we'll
the
get all
show
the views.
saver. How did you get involved with, or how did you meet Cassie? That's probably a cool story. Did you just meet her from YouTube?
Well, see, I lurk on other people's channels.
Yeah. It's hard to, that's what I do too. That's kind of how I found how I found my place.
Yeah, I lurked on her channel
Tribe.
for a while. And then I seen she was struggling with a few things here and there. So, of course, you know me, I got to stick my nose in where it doesn't belong.
Hey, Jamie.
And we became good friends real quick. And we fixed a few problems that were happening or whatever. And she worked her ass off, believe you me. very proud of that girl. She did a lot of work and she really turned everything around. And I was like, wow, that's a good girl. So I was very proud of her.
Hmm.
And that's how we met, I think. I don't know. You have to ask
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, the first time I met you, I believe it was a card reading. It was you and Cassie, and I'm sure Sonny was in there. But yeah, it was a really cool community to be. I was like, oh, I'm addicted. These are
There
my
you go.
people.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
these
I
are my
found it.
people.
These are my people, my tribe.
That's it.
Mm.
My wolf pack.
That's right, Wolfpack. Yeah.
So Danny, you guys mind if I ask Danny a quick question?
I mean, I kind of do, but if you really have to,
I know how it is. I
Heck yeah.
understand.
go
I
ahead.
hate listening to myself talk too, man. Don't
You
worry.
know I'm joking with you. Stop.
I don't, Danny. I'm not like too familiar on your store. I think the whole is it Astral or Astro?
Astro.
Astro, Astro boy. Yeah. Have you had any experiences with like things in the sky, like sightings, any kind of UFO, whatever you want to call it,
Oh,
extraterrestrial,
UFOs
extra
and stuff.
dimensional?
Okay. Well, my stance on UFOs and Bigfoot and cryptology and everything else, I 100% believe in them. I mean, there's no two ways that they don't exist, but I just ain't got the time for them, you know. Like, I've encountered Bigfoot 2 or 3 times because
Yeah.
you know I lived 33 miles in the middle of nowhere, so I mean I've encountered them. But for me not to believe in Bigfoot or these type of things would be pretty dumb, since I deal with devil dogs and I deal with windwalkers and you know all different things. Um, so yeah, I believe in cryptology, and I believe some of them are actually demon spirits. Some of them are actually just evolution, you know, like
Or extra dimensionals.
yeah, I suppose it could be. I really don't delve into it very much. Same with UFOs and everything else. Look at the thing is, I I do believe in them, and I do believe it, you know, the encounters, and I do believe in all this stuff, right? But you got to remember, for 53 years, I've worked anywhere from 57 to 87 hours a week dealing with spiritual problems, demons, and going to people's houses, clearing things, doing exorcisms, all this shit.
Oh wow.
So long, I don't have time to deal with anything else, right? It's not that I don't have an interest in, say, cryptology, okay, because I do. It's not that I don't have an interest in UFOs and sightings and things, because I do. But damn, I just don't got the time or the energy to even really look at it, right? It's just because I've been so busy for so long doing the things I have to do and love to do. You know, they are kind of one and the same. But I really haven't had much. I'm nowhere near experienced enough to give any real details on cryptology or on UFOs, because to be quite frank, I haven't studied it. I really don't know too much about it, right? So I'm kind of like a babe in the woods when it comes to that type of thing. I really don't know much about them. But it's simply because with everything else I do, I just never had the time or the inclination to dig into something else, because it would have been just too much. It'd been too overwhelming, right? So
Right.
so my fair answer, my true answer is yes, I believe 100% in them. But do I have time for it? No, I never
Well,
have.
have you seen anything in the sky that you couldn't explain?
Oh yeah,
And
I've
the
seen,
reason I asked,
2 or 3 times. I've seen some shit that I was just like, huh, okay, that's cool, but I
Hmm.
didn't.
You've already seen a lot of other stuff. Yeah.
To me, it's just another energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've been in this
Oh,
business so long. I've seen things that people would have claimed, well, that's a UFO experience. No, it's just another energy source that's there. To
that's
me,
what I think it all is. Yeah, it's all energy. And
it's
the
just,
reason I say this, sorry.
I don't differentiate so much. It's just an energy source, right? And so, like, yeah, no, I was at where was that? O'Neill Lake. At O'Neill Lake. I was sitting on the dock, you know, just fishing, and this lights it's shaped in a triangle, these lights, came down, was right in front of me, like eye level to me, and it was maybe 4 feet off the water, but it was on the, like halfway across the lake. Right, and I'm fishing. And I see this thing, and it comes, and it lands there. I could feel it just looking at me. So I'm fishing. I looked up. I said, "Hi, how's it going?" And then I sat there, and for some reason, I said, "I'm fishing. This is how we catch some food sometimes." And then it kind of went like a lightish blue and gone. Period. Just gone. You seen it shimmer, and then it was gone. That's one of the things that I've seen. So, I mean, I'd have to be a moron to say that wasn't from a different place, right?
Something intelligent. Right.
I'd have to be pretty arrogant to think, and that's really us. That's mankind. We're so arrogant. How arrogant are we? We got this entire huge solar system, this multi-universe, and for us and our arrogance to say we're the only ones that have real estate. Seriously, come on, give your head a shake, okay? Give your head a shake. But billions and billions and billions of planets just like this one, and you think we're the only one that evolved to have human beings on it?
Right.
Shake your head, And ours is young in comparison to most, right? They say, "Oh, well, the other planets are so far ahead." No shit. They've been there for 10 million more years than we have. So what the hell? What do you expect?
Danny Beth is asking if you need water.
Yeah, damn it. Okay. Hey.
She knows you. She knows you, huh?
Yeah, the reason I asked you that question, and I saw that one time I was abducted. They were on here soon, and Chad's going to be on their channel tomorrow. By the way, everybody, just want to throw that out there. I'll be on there next Wednesday or this Wednesday.
Oh, Brian Jamie's.
Question because yeah. So I was speaking to them, and I was telling them when I first started accepting a lot of this stuff. For me, at first, I was as a lot of people would say, nuts and bolts. That's how I was about everything. So I started seeing things like orbs materialize and dematerialize into thin air, and it shattered my whole belief system. Just changed the way I looked at everything. But it really seems to me like maybe it's just me personally, but I know I've talked to a lot of other people who share the same belief that here lately it seems like the gap between UFO or extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call it, and then things along the lines of like paranormal or supernatural, it seems like that gap is kind of closing. And people are starting to see that even though certain things might be separate, there's some type of connected thread between everything. And whenever I say spiritual, for me, I think spirit, like you were saying, I believe is what you're getting at. Mm-hmm. Spirit is energy, energy that's consciousness. I feel like the entire universe is, conscious in a sense, maybe not the way
everything. See, that's kind of a basic, right? Like everything everywhere in the universe is connected. Everything is connected to everything. There is no separation. Separation is a human idea. It's a man-made thought. It's like we live in our separate houses, we have our separate towns, we live in our separate cities, we have our separate countries. Separate and apart is a man-made thing. It's not a universal thing. A universal thing, everything is connected together. Everything is one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So humans and spirits, extraterrestrials, Sasquatches, everything is connected in one form or another. Okay. Are we all on the same plane? Arguable. Are there different planes of existence? Another arguable. Are there different voids and stuff? Again, that's an arguable. But what is not arguable is that all these things exist, and whatever reason, we all see them at one point here and there for whatever reason we're needed to see them. Okay. Whether they're divided by space and time, that's for the philosophers. I ain't even going to guess at it, and I don't really give a crap. But the fact of the matter is, yes, everything is connected. That's the way it was designed. I mean, and to say that there's no one huge power, now be it a god or be it a council or be it whatever, that there's so much chaos, it can't be chaotic, right? There's so many different things that go on that all fit together. It's not really chaos, it's a plan, right?
Right. Like the
So
Earth being exactly where it is, it couldn't happen. They say it
it
has
couldn't
to
be by
be.
accident, right?
Yeah,
Like all the
exactly.
stuff that's happened, everything that's happened can't be by accident. It has to have a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll hear those people say, well, everything has a purpose, everything happens for a reason. Well, yeah, because it's been planned to, you know, in my opinion only. Okay. Don't attack the host or anything. This is just me blabbering.
No, I agree with you there,
I mean,
actually.
I believe everything is connected. The only separation there is by man. Now, are the veils getting thinner? Are the things coming? No, I don't think so. There are times when the veil thins in both the universal divide and the spiritual divide. Okay, universal divide would be UFOs, things like that. Spiritual divide, obviously, that's the spirits and the elementals, that type of thing. Okay, and the earthly divide, which would be cryptology, right? So sometimes these veils do tend to seem to come a little bit clearer, where there's a little more interactions at times. Okay, but I think a lot of it, I think 90% of all this, everything's coming and the veils are thinner. No, it's called awareness, people. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
The reason there's more sightings of UFOs is because more people are aware and they're looking up. And once you look up, guess what? You're going to see some shit. Okay. That's just the way it is. There's nothing new happening there. It's been going on for a couple of million years, but you're the first time you've seen it. So it doesn't mean that it's happening more. It means that people are recognizing it more. Same with the spiritual. Like when I started, ghosts were something that was spoken in the back room in a closet with the lights off. Now it's talked about at the kitchen table having supper with your kids. Okay.
Right.
It's nothing thinning that way. It's the awareness of mankind is starting to come out of the diapers. Okay. We're still infants, you know, we still need to be potty trained and shit, but we're finally taking our diapers off and saying, hey, look, we're not the be all and end all of creation. Okay. There is other things that are far superior to us. You know, we just got to suck a bottle and accept the fact that, yeah, you know, there are other life forms that are 10 times advanced than us. There are cryptology animals. Everybody keeps going, well, maybe they can turn invisible. Maybe they can do that. Maybe this, maybe that. You know what? Maybe they have camouflage. You ever think of that? You know, maybe Bigfoot doesn't go to another parallel. Maybe he just says, hey, I'm going to stand by this tree and look like the tree, you know, because he's got camouflage, natural, evolutionary camouflage. This is a possibility that we don't know yet, which is why people need to study to find out. Are they going through a vortex or are they just damn good at hide and seek? That's what I want to know. Okay. Like they might just have a natural enzyme in their body, just like a lizard, you know, or a frog or chameleon that can blend in. That can blend in so well that, you know, you're not going to see them, right? And that would make sense. Like, that makes sense. An animal to defend itself can blend into an area, or if it hides, it doesn't want to be seen, or if it's hunting, it can blend into anything, right? That's kind of its gift. So that's a possibility too, that, you know, people don't start to, you know, well, if they don't have camouflage ability, no, I'm just going to focus on Bigfoot because it's the only thing that I have a vague baby step knowledge. But their hair is not one color. There's reds, there's blues, browns, reds, greens.
Part of white. Yeah.
All different colors. Some are white, right? You think that's by accident? Or do you think by shifting and turning, the reflection of natural light can camouflage them so you won't see them?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, perhaps the reason they have all these different color hair is for camouflage. That's just another possibility I'll throw out there. Okay.
I've even heard it described as being sunburned.
Yeah. Like, what's up with that shit? Right?
Yeah.
If it's sunburned, then guess what? They're a physical form.
Yeah.
They're not going to be they're not going to be jumping you know. If they can get, if shit happens to you on this realm, you're part of this realm, right?
Yeah.
That's why you need a ghost box to hear the spirits in the other realm because they're not here. They're there, right? So if you can interact physically with this realm, that means this realm has to be able to interact with you, right? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Like, so I think, honestly, I think they are just a creature, a remarkable creature, that we as mankind have no idea how to find, okay? Because if they are camouflaged and they've been here all this time, you don't think they know how to sit and be quiet? You don't think they know how to change their scent? You don't think they know how to do all this stuff? I mean, come on. It's their natural life pattern, right?
Yeah.
So they would be 10 times the hunters that we are, so they would have that down pat.
Yeah, like that's part of their. You cannot argue with 10 million years of evolution. They have this shit down pat. We don't, you know. So,
sorry.
You know, it could be that we are just so unadapted, and we are so pathetically terrible at doing some shit, and they are so damn well advanced and good at it. The chances of finding them are the same chance that my aunt has balls and is my uncle. Okay, it's not possible. You know what I'm saying? So, like, come on, think about it. A deer could go. A deer, people. A rabbit, a deer, a squirrel. You could be in the bush. They can walk right past you, and you don't even notice them till they break a bloody branch, and they're right there. You don't see them, right? Now, something that's trying to be avoided, that doesn't want you to see them, you're never going to see them. You can't see something standing in front of you. How are you going to see something that doesn't want to be seen, right? There's that possibility. It's just that simple. And it's just that we are so inadept at seeing stuff that we got to come up with other ideas of how. Why don't we first exhaust the fact, okay, maybe it's just camouflage. Maybe we're just that terrible at tracking shit that we don't know what we're doing, and they're so experienced. Our arrogance won't let us think that we're that bad at doing something, okay? That's my opinion. I think, you know, if it was me, if I was investigating, I would want to investigate this section here first. I'd want to eliminate all possibilities that it is from this plane. You know, if it can interact and move branches and throw stones, guess what? It's from this plane. Because otherwise, you're talking about an angry spirit using energy to throw stones. Well, then why do you hear the big roar and see it pick up the stone and throw it? If it was an energy, it would just go, shoo, point at the stone would fly and hit you upside the head, right? And they wouldn't miss when they threw stuff. If a spirit throws something at you, it's going to hit you, right? Because it doesn't have to aim. So something of this realm has to aim. You have to deal with the gravity. You have to deal with the direction. You have to deal with the actual launching of the stone, right? So just plain physics says this has to be something of this earth dimension to throw that damn thing in the first place. So from my point of view, just thinking about it, and this is just me, guys, so please don't attack the host. From my point, just from my own inexperience, let's say, because like I say, I haven't studied any of this shit, but from my experience of what I've seen with them and the fact that, you know, I seen one slap the water and play like a child while the other one sat on a rock watching it and give me a dirty look. I felt like a pervert, so I had to leave. But the whole thing was here now in your face, right? So there's no possible way that it can interact the way it did with earthly things if it's not physically here at that time. Now, the other side of the argument is very simple. They were here at the time, but then they went through a portal to another place. Sure, that's possible. But first prove to me that they're not here all the time first. Right? Like that is totally possible. They could come from another dimension, become physical, take a physical form, do their physical stuff, and then go back to another. But that seems like a hell of a lot of work to me. Why bother? Right? So that's how I would start with my approach. Is first I want to prove that they're not here. Quit. See, it's impossible, and this is just from my own experience from the paranormal side. It is impossible to prove that ghosts exist to people that refuse to believe. Okay?
Yeah.
It's impossible because there's no physical evidence that you can push in their face. Okay?
Until they haven't experienced themselves.
Until they experience themselves, there's no way. You know, to someone who believes, no proof is necessary. For someone who doesn't believe, no proof is possible. Okay? Cryptology has this beautiful, beautiful possibility that if these things are earthbound, there's going to be evidence. Why do you think they find foot tracks? Okay, if they were interdimensional, they wouldn't leave footprints because as soon as they left this dimension, the footprints would vanish. There's no possible way for the footprint to stay because the thing that created it no longer exists. Right? It's not of this world anymore. So that footprint would go. Right? So take the evidence that we get. There's some damn good evidence. I've seen it at the Smithsonian. I've seen some evidence that blows my mind. Hair samples, stool samples that they can't be tracked. Like,
Kenny, have you? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Stool sample that has elements in it that can't be found on Earth, right? That's one thing. A stool element that it can't say what species it came from, but all the stuff in the stool sample came from Earth. That's another thing, right? There's all this evidence that you can take. And hey, because we're talking about shit, shove it in someone's face. And I'd love to see that. You know, I'd love to see that. Like, this is a beautiful time to be an investigator for that kind of thing. Because look at all of the awesome evidence that's just sitting there that we just haven't discovered yet. Okay. I think there's a dump truck full of evidence that to prove the existence of all these different things, you know, and I'd love to be, you know, maybe if I ever get a chance to retire from paranormal, I might go into that for a couple of years just to see what I can dig up more or less, you know. But there's so many avenues, and I think it's wise for everybody to look at all the different possibilities. But I think the focus should be on let's get all the proof so we can tell everybody, screw you, we were right, you were wrong.
Danny, I want to ask real quick and let Sonny or Chad, you guys, if y'all want to ask something. I was just going to ask, have you ever thought about the possibility? Because, like you said, I'm not going to say 100% on something until I know for sure. But I try to stay open-minded to everything and respect everybody's, you know, ideas and beliefs. Have you ever thought about the theory, I guess, that maybe if they are some type of interdimensional being or there's a portal that they could be able to come into this reality and make themselves solid, I guess, or, you know, physical. And I want to say the reason I say this is because I mentioned earlier, I know the Bledsoe family. I do know for a fact that Lou Elizondo, he's a guy, he's a big name. He retrieved some metamaterial from an orb that was light, you know, energy, and actually turned to a metallic orb. And whenever it did, it dripped this liquid plasma, or kind of like a molten liquid. And whenever it dripped it solidified into like a metallic puddle. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw pictures of this metallic puddle is metamaterial that Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge, they took it to a TTSA, if I'm saying that right, to the Stars Academy. Mm-hmm. But just, you know, whenever I saw that picture and they told me that story, and then I even looked up the podcast where, you know, Lou Elizondo admits, you know, to retrieving this metamaterial, it made me think about everything in a completely different way. You know, just the fact that something that's not solid can turn solid. And I think about what you were saying earlier about something so far ahead of us, you know, being so advanced, their technology would seem like magic, you know.
Well, I just want to know. Don't get me wrong, okay? The portal theory might be a legit 100%. You might be buying on with that, okay? Not saying it ain't. But what I want, you know, what I think would be better is if we do everything humanly possible to prove it's not from here first, right?
Eliminate all the other options.
Right. And then start looking like, do I think a being can portal from one realm to this realm, be physical on this realm, stay as long as it wants, and then bugger off and go home? Of course. Right. How could I not believe in that? How the hell do demons come and invest somebody's home or attack someone, and you got to fight them and kick them the hell out of their house and send them back to where they came from if things can't come through a portal and be solid? Right. See what I'm saying?
Right.
For 53 years, I've been dealing with that exact issue, right? I just want it to be something not coming from a damn portal, okay? I want it to be real from here. You know, it's like do I think things can come through portals, become solid in our realm, and then go? Of course. I mean, Wendigos do it. Skinwalkers do it. Demons do it. Jackal does it. Devil dogs do it. Like, there's so many different types of demons and categories of demons that do it on a daily basis, right? I believe angels can come and help out and then leave when they feel like it, but they're not from here, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd be a moron to say that they can't come through a door, become solid, hang out for a few days, and go home. This could be a vacation spot. Hey, let's all go to Orion. I hear the women are loose and free, you know. But I would love just once for us to say this amazing, unbelievable creature was born on our planet, belongs to our planet, right? This wonderful being who has the capability through evolution to do all these things, born and bred here. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. I'd like that a hell of a lot more than, we got another star visitor from some other place, you know, come to show us up again, you know. Like, I would really like it to be from here, you know.
Right.
Is it from here? I have no clue. I don't know squat about it. Honestly, I don't know. You know, could it possibly be interdimensional? I hate that word. Could it possibly come from another portal? Yes, definitely. But I'd rather it not. You know, I'd rather people investigate to prove it's not here first. Because proving it comes from a portal, good luck, Charlie Brown. Okay?
Good. Never gonna be able to prove
if
that.
You can't prove there's a ghost, there's no damn way you're gonna ever prove it came from a portal. Okay?
Right.
But if you could prove it come from Earth, we got earthly evidence. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, jackass.
You know what I'm physical
saying?
Evidence to show people and say deny that. What you're saying about the camouflage earlier, it made me think about I love watching nature documentaries. I was just watching something on the octopus that can camouflage to absolutely anything. And something that really blew my mind, I didn't even notice until today. It's kind of synchronistic we're talking about this. This octopus, they can literally not just camouflage in any color, but it can also mimic the texture. Say if it lands on like a coral reef or some sand or anything, it can actually make itself look like that texture in a second. I mean, if you look at it in live time, you can see it change, and even looks like the texture of the octopus's skin is actually, it appears to be changing, you know.
Right, and that's what I thought was that's what I honestly believe. Okay, that's what I honestly believe. I can't prove it, no way, shape, or form. But that's what I honestly believe Bigfoot does. I believe if he sits on a rock, he becomes the rock. Right?
Yeah, and this octopus can also mimic other living organisms too. Like it can mimic a flounder, and it actually will change the way that it swims to make itself look like a flat fish. It can mimic a line. Is it a lionfish? A lionfish. It can mimic that and actually change its body shape. You know, make its tentacles go out in the way. You know how the lionfish have the fins that shoot out everywhere.
Yeah,
they can do that to like a few different animals.
Like, why can't Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, why can't they all be like that? Like, how do we know they can't just camouflage themselves so well that we'll never see them? Right?
Yeah, nature is incredible. And what I'm thinking the whole time whenever I was watching this earlier, and something else real quick I need to say, this octopus has 5 hearts and 3 brains.
Yeah, I learned that the other day too.
Yes, bizarre. Yeah,
it's too many.
I'm like, why? Why do you need that? But the
Look,
thing I was thinking is, how does the octopus know? Like, how is it? Is it looking at the? I didn't even think that it could. Well, I know some animals can see spectrums of color and light that we can't even see. But
yeah,
like, how does that octopus know? What color and texture animal? How does it know what it is that it needs to mimic in a blink of an eye, where it can just immediately change?
Right.
It's
because
almost like it's doing it on
natural
instinct.
evolution, right? It's evolution. It's an
Yeah.
instant, like we breathe, right?
Right? You don't think about breathing.
We
Exactly.
don't think
Yeah,
about
that's
breathing. We
what I
just
was about to
breathe,
say.
right? And I think it's the same with these animals and creatures with this ability. They don't have to think about it. Something
Right.
startles them, boom, the body takes over, bam. Just like
That's
when you go to
exactly.
touch a hot flame, your hand gets too close, your arm jumps. Your brain didn't say move, right? Your arm said, "Screw you," it's out of there, right? Same thing with, I think, with any being, any creature. Like, there's a defense system that we all naturally have that's instant, and I think that's why it's so fast at it, because it's not a physical thought through process. It's just a physical reaction to a
It's
process.
natural. Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like how we don't think about breathing. That must be how us octopus are able to do that immediately. They don't need to think about it. It's in their DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
that's a
But
good
like I say,
comparison.
I mean, I'm like you guys. I mean, I'm sitting back and I'm watching the investigators of the UFOs, and I'm watching the investigators of the cryptid, because I want to see what they find.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my quarters put in that I hope it's this, right, or I hope it's that.
Yeah.
But I really have no honest proof of any of it. It's all just speculation, right? So, but yeah, no, I'm good with everything. Whatever it is. But I would just like it to be. Can't we have one thing that's
Physical
paranormal
evidence.
Candy.
comes from here? Just one thing, There you go, baby.
Mhm.
Got some of that somewhere. Oh, it's hiding. What are you having some?
I see exactly what you're saying, Dan. You want some physical evidence.
I want some physical evidence. And it would be just nice for once that it came from here. Just one thing, It would just be nice. It'd be something like, "Hey, go home team," I got that type of mentality. It's like, "Come on, home team," So yeah, but no, I absolutely, 100%. Could it come from a portal? Stay here for vacation? Say I've had enough of this place and go home? Absolutely. Absolutely, I believe that's possible.
Big Willie.
What's up,
Hey!
boys?
Willie,
What's up, gentlemen?
Willie.
I didn't know you were live.
Oh
I
yeah.
would have
That's,
been hanging out.
no worries at all, dude. I'm the one that it changed around my times anyways because of trying to do all the shows. It's a pain.
Hey, let's do Willie's theme song, guys. Come on. Who
Willie,
gets
theme song?
Who's got a beer? Well, it's Willie. Yeah, Willie. Willie.
Check out this
man with the camel hat.
Whoa!
Grab my
Glass and a
guitar.
beard like that. It's Willie.
Willie.
Willie. Hey, welcome,
Yeah.
Willie.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Oh man, too many chats tonight, guys. I was getting yelled at in my chat. Someone was like, "Are you typing while you've got a guest on the screen? How dare you be typing?"
No, we would never do something like that.
I was responding to people in the chat. I wasn't even typing to you guys. I was responding to people in my own chat, and they were like, "Oh, it looks like you're typing on your computer."
It's very unprofessional.
You were
Very
He's not one of
unprofessional.
us.
Willie.
It's like you were very observant. Thank
I
you.
can multitask. Hey, I was listening to Danny and Josh, and I was changing batteries in an RC car right here. No one
Yep.
said anything.
I said it wouldn't be the chop. I said it wouldn't be the chop shop unless somebody was working on a car in the background.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I'm sorry, guys. Life doesn't revolve around you. I gotta fix my
know.
batteries.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the
RC
way it
cars are
goes.
running out of batteries.
Look,
We
Danny,
all-
my grandson's right here. He's
Hey,
he waits on those batteries.
What's up, buddy?
see, that's right, eh? Batteries don't change themselves. Hey, that's what grandpas are for. What the hell, people? Get together. I need my car fixed, guys. You know?
That's right.
Sorry if life doesn't revolve around you, but I need batteries for my car so I can go play. Yeah, you tell him. Tell him, little man.
He's got a race coming up, so he's got to practice.
Attaboy, get at her and win. And if you don't win, come in second or third or fourth or fifth, whatever, doesn't matter. But have fun. That's the main thing.
All those
That's right.
positions.
As long as you're having fun.
As long as you're having fun, that's what
Oh
matters.
no. My granddaughter got in trouble for saying that the other day.
What's that?
She said, it doesn't matter if you win, it's just if you have fun.
Oh.
What'd you say?
Well, I'll tell you what, when you get my age, having fun is no longer an issue.
If you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's what matters.
Yep.
That's exactly what I said.
Yep.
By the way, Thin Lizzy, is your hubby? Is he scary Gary? Is that him? Because he was in the chat all night. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Oh man, it
Gary?
better not be.
It said I think it was Scary Gary was the username, but I'm pretty sure is his name's Gary, right?
Yeah, Gary's his name. Mm-hmm.
He's not scary.
Gary then. No, but I mean it's his name on there is Scary Gary, which is funny. Harry Scary Gary or Scary Harry Gary.
I was about to say that, man.
Harry Scary Gary.
Yeah.
Scary Harry Gary. That's like when people say really Willy or Willy Willy. I used to, man, when I lived in Missouri, we had to live in Missouri for like 2 years. We were living with my aunt, my uncle, and I had two cousins, brother and sister. One was named Philip, and the other one was named Liliana. But they just went by Lily, Philly, and I was Willie. So if anybody yelled Philly, Willie, or Lily in the house, like one of us three all had to show up.
Yeah.
We had to be there.
That's awesome.
Oh man. So what do you guys do? Were you singing songs or like I didn't see too much singing going on.
No, we weren't singing today.
That was all for you, man. I was about to grab my guitar and
That was
everything.
just for
Man.
you, dude.
It's just for me.
That was just for you, man. You got to have an intro, right? So I thought, what the hell? You know.
Came up with it on the spot, man.
That's
Give
it.
Smith some props.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, there's my daughter. I don't know what the hell we were talking about. Words mostly.
Words and
Yeah.
words.
Just lots of words and words and words. Not too much singing though, but lots of words.
Brown.flop. By the way, I do have your email, brown.flop. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
Brown.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Sonny could probably drop you what do you call it too? Are we live? I don't know if we are live.
Yeah, we're live right now, buddy.
Good thing I kept it together.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I come in all
Let's
like
do what I did on New
I
Year's.
bet you glad you weren't naked now that you found out.
Comes in with
come
his
in
shirt
with my
off.
shirt off, repping hard for the garage.
Now wait, you're tell him bye.
I'm telling you
not
what,
realizing you're live and you're naked. You have to go to the pots. And
Bye,
it
stand up.
happens.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Nice meeting you.
Your bum shows up and everybody says, "Well, I'll never look at the moon."
Well, I mean, listen. Spooky Morales would never be able to recover. I was trying to help the guy out earlier. I said, listen, that's average. Okay, don't feel pressure. And you know, if I stood up on here, man, we'd be oh
you
no.
know.
Oh my! Wow. I didn't get on nudie booty, but I will say I totally forgot we were
God,
live
Cassie.
on New Year's, man. And
Pretty good
yeah.
time on New Year's, guys.
I don't want
Like
to
a
talk
time.
about that. Some memories I don't remember. I
We had
will
your
say,
six, you were safe, man.
for everybody
What'd you
who
say?
thinks I stole it, I totally didn't steal this, man. I've
You
always had
still got my football.
Sonny's been trying to find his football for the last couple months.
Yeah. Melissa
Oh,
said
yeah.
you stole that from me and made me cry.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wipe off Sonny's signature right here, man. But
Oh my God! Did they go
I'll
live
do that. It won't be
again?
worth nothing.
Who did?
one time.
Do they just never
Oh, I
stop
knew it.
streaming anymore?
they're ruthless,
Oh,
man.
Oh my
Jamie.
God! I was dude. This is
Yeah.
like the third time today.
Yeah,
they-
they multiple streams.
I was like, how come there's only like 2 people watching or 4 people watching? And I'm like, oh yeah, everyone is live on Friday.
Everyone is live on Fridays. It
Yep.
Those girls,
really
they
does
love to
kind
cross
of.
screens.
That's cool though.
That's why I used to like Saturdays so much because I had a sweet spot. Nobody, for whatever reason, was doing it. I got to promote the crap out of Lynn, but now Lynn's in my spot, and I switched them after that. But dude, I'm stoked for tomorrow night's some of the stuff we're gonna be
yeah.
talking about. Oh, dude, I thought it was like I didn't really know what to expect going into. Yeah, spooky. Yeah, We're gonna go hard, real hard.
Hard.
The spontaneous human combustion, y'all.
Whoa, really?
Freaking
Yeah.
scary
man.
I'm
stuff.
gonna speak about it. Oh,
That
Like
used
some
to
of it
terrify me when I was a
explainable.
kid. I would think about it, and I was like, "Oh no, am I just gonna catch on fire?"
Spooky. I am simply drinking a raspberry tea tonight with a little bit of actually a pinch of raspberry creamer in it too. Super manly drink. Gotta hear over. But Spooky, did you miss me talking about promotion of equality? First of all sizes matter, and I was trying to make you feel good about 6 inches. Man,
oh man.
never caught. I mean, I was granted I wasn't here, so I don't know what the reference is actually to. I was just typing based on the chat, so I don't know what the reference is actually.
Oh man.
Well, the whole
It's not
sentence
about
was
the
in
size,
quotes.
it's
It didn't
what
actually. Yeah, it didn't actually mean 6 inches. It was like a quote, and it just happened to end in 6 with a.
Oh well,
Close quote.
some
It's what
things
you
do end in
with it.
6.
Yeah, 6 inches. You wish, buddy.
Right, 6 is respectable, solid number.
Now
Yeah,
it's the
6
chop
inches,
shop.
You wish, you know.
Oh man, it's not about the size, it's what you do with it.
Big Willie in Spanish, it's
Fine.
chorizo. Is it spicy chorizo?
Yeah,
Oh,
hey,
man.
it's not the size of the worm; it's how you wiggle the worm.
It's how you wiggle it.
Okay,
Oh,
tripod. Okay, tripod. If you say so.
Tripod.
All right, tripod. What the hell?
Tripod.
We all
Oh,
got our
man, that's
fantasies. Hey, ghosts are real. 6
You gotta-
inches.
You got a kickstand there, tripod.
Right on, tripod. You know,
Right
Oh,
on,
man.
tripod.
that's it.
Gary's here.
Gary's here.
Gary, what's going
Oh.
on, man?
What's up, Gary?
Oh, in the chat.
I've got too many things over. Where am I at?
Hey,
Yeah, we need like 4 different windows.
Dude, oh, there he is. He said, "Hey, y'all."
Yep.
Hey, Scary Gary.
is here. See, it is Scary Gary. It is. Okay, see, the picture's bigger here. I had it.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger here.
Yeah. Every day, zoom out. Okay, zoom out.
You call us
That's
Texas.
Gary.
Tammy.
That's Gary. What's her name's man? I'm just.
Oh
What's her
my
name?
I'm
God.
just playing,
Oh.
Lizzie. I'm teasing.
Hey,
And by the way, everybody out there, these clever little remarks that we say is how we keep the show PG-13.
That's right.
true. True.
We're keeping her classy.
Yeah,
John,
Fuck everybody else. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
know. Chad's beard is beautiful right now. Very respectful.
Mediocre, but not doing too bad.
Where was it just said? Somebody said it ago, and I just missed it. I had a good line. It's gone now.
You had a good line.
Big
Where'd you
Willie,
line?
I wanted to ask about the spontaneous combustion. Are we dealing with vampires here, or what is it?
No. This is.
It really happens.
this, it makes me
Oh no, I'm
like
familiar
anytime
with
in my
it, but
life if I ever get heartburn again, ever in my life, I'm like, this is it. I'm about to go up.
Seems like spontaneous combustion.
Dude, there's been over 200 reported and very well,
What?
some are debatable, but there's been 200 accounts in history of people just bursting into flames.
Holy
But what's
shit, what is
scary
it?
about this, man, is like, it's so strange. Without giving everything away, like a majority of these people, all that's found of them is their feet and their skull, and that is it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I've looked into it once,
Catch on
man.
fire from the inside out.
Ash. You know how
I
hot
picture
a
like an
human's
alien
bones
with a
have to
magnifying
burn?
glass. Holy shit.
I think it's 1,400 to 1,700 degrees that the average human bone has to reach for up to 3 hours at a time, I believe. If I remember correctly, 3 to 4 hours at a time
I heard.
before it'll turn to ash. And
Holy
these fires are
shit,
starting up. And here's the weird thing. They don't burn anything around them. They don't burn the house down. They don't burn other things around them. They just burn this person. Nothing else is affected. To the point where there's been only a couple, just very few eyewitness occasions. People witnessed it happening. Excuse me. And it's terrifying. I mean, heart-wrenching on top of terrifying.
I can
But
imagine.
literally watching people either vomit or spew up to 2 feet flames out of their mouth and roaring like a
What?
dragon.
Oh my
I
god.
mean,
It
Daniel
sounds
was talking about
ridiculous.
Ghost Rider.
On the face of it, yeah, you laugh a little, Chad,
heard
because I
it
almost did a
only
little bit
happens
too,
to
but like, it only happens to gingers.
Yeah.
Get that fire.
You might be safe. I made that up.
It does
Fire crotch.
It does happen to Drinkers seem to be. It's the common running theme. Drinkers.
Really? Just too much alcohol in the bloodstream?
It's a little synchronistic. Me and Danny were talking about Ghost Rider earlier, man. So, I
Were
mean, is
you
this
guys really?
hellfire? Yes, we were. Is this hellfire, or is it an alien with a magnifying glass from up in space? You know.
Is that a
Listen,
football?
they don't know for sure, man. It gets like, again, I kind of got like the stories prepared and stuff for tomorrow night, so without giving them all away, but like, I don't know. Even the answer that they finally presented after, and guys, some of the old accounts, like back in the 1400s, like the first accountable one was an Italian knight. This happened to where his parents watched him burst into flames, and he
That's the one
spewed.
I read. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Sonny's saying no. What happened, Sonny?
If you're giving spoiler alerts, you're gonna get us in trouble. I thought you talked about this tonight on the show.
No. I've got more to share. So don't you guys tune in to the After Hours show tomorrow on SOR with myself, Gemma, and John to hear more about this.
Excellent.
Spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah, I actually got kind of really interested in that when in high school when I heard about it. I'm like, wait, what? People just like start burning alive? Interesting. Yeah.
I looked into it a long time ago. I still didn't know if that was like one of the myths, you know. I haven't looked to it in years, but I remember researching it a long time ago, way before I believed in any of this other stuff.
Yeah, so go make sure you check out Big
crazy.
Willie on the after show over there on SOR, Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, guys, that's it for this old dog. I got to get off of here.
Yeah, Danny, hey, thanks
Danny,
for
how
hanging
you
out
doing,
with us,
brother?
buddy.
Man,
Yeah.
thank you for coming,
It's
Danny.
nice meeting you, man.
You're awesome, buddy.
All right, take care, guys.
All
Remember,
right, we'll see you.
go
Good
in
night. See
peace.
you later, Astro.
Yeah, later, Astro.
Hey, brother, he
Thanks
says-
for the chat.
All right, well, see you later. Peace be with you.
See you later.
Hi, Danny.
You too, brother.
Good night, buddy.
Oops.
Man, he's a good guy.
Danny's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll have to get him back on.
Yeah, Tammy, it's been years since it's been a case that I'm aware of. The latest reported case, guys, believe it or not, I can't give it away. You got to tune in tomorrow night.
Scary Gary wants to know, Sonny, is that an International Scout RC car on the shelf?
That is. That's a red
He's got a
cat.
good eye.
Scout back there.
Yeah, damn good eye. I didn't see it. Yeah, me and Danny were talking about Ghost Rider earlier, man. I was gonna say I actually asked that vampire question earlier. I was joking, but that's how I found out about that spontaneous combustion thing. Was watching some documentary about vampires, and they
Really?
got into that. Yeah, and
If,
apparently some people think there's a connection there.
You know who does good work? I mean, there's obviously a lot of people that do great work on vampires, but Gemma Jade's got a great episode on. Trying to remember the name of it. We mentioned it briefly on the After Hours show the one time. It has to do with these girls that came over from, was it France to Louisiana? They were essentially trying to bring them over because they needed wives, and these guys were really rowdy, and they didn't have enough women, to the point where like guys were just taking, like, literally grabbing women in the street, and it wasn't good. So they were trying to ship these ladies over, and they sent them with like these hope chests, essentially, that they were supposed to be all their belongings in. Nobody was supposed to get it or open it until they got married, and the church, the ladies there, were keeping it for them. Point being, these ladies show up and they're very homely, very pale, very sick looking, and all of a sudden people start dying and disappearing, and it got kind of weird, and everybody started blaming them. My only rebuttal to that would be, if you traveled across the sea for like a couple months at a time and you've never been on a boat, you're probably gonna look pretty sick and homely, and like a lot of people used to die on, traveling across the sea. But the what was weird is that at one point, when they finally busted open these chests, there was nothing in there. There had never been anything in there.
What?
And during Hurricane Katrina, with the gale force winds, the Catholic Church sent in a helicopter with Mission Impossible style priests to nail shut the room that these coffins, these hope chests are kept in, that no one's allowed to go there to this day. They flew in a helicopter to nail it shut with the holy nails that have been blessed by the Pope himself.
Well, dear God.
Dude, but who does that? Who flies in during Hurricane Katrina?
And I mean, imagine the people wanting to be rescued, and they're like, "Oh yeah, somebody's
There's a
coming."
helicopter.
Like,
Sweet
what
Jesus,
are
we're
they doing?
saved. I'm just here to fix this shutter, boys.
No, we
It's here
just
to
have the
show off
nails
these
from the
demons.
Pope.
Yeah.
these vampires get loose, it's gonna be hell on everybody out here. Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
she does a much more elegant job of explaining the story. That was a very rough rundown of it, but essentially, there is a whole story. Like, so she was saying, was that some of the early start of vampire lore, and I would agree with her that it did seem to start in Louisiana, which is just a strange, weird place, anyways, as a whole. But it definitely kind of spread from there. You didn't really like hear the vampire stories in Kansas that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? It originated down there. Now I believe there's been some sightings across the United States, but
I don't know as Transylvania is where that stuff started.
the original one.
Yeah. Do you mean like here in
Tammy.
America? Is that what you're saying? Or that story in particular? Is that what you're saying?
Right, like that would have been how they would have gotten to here. Because I can't remember the timeline off the top of my head. I want to say prior to the expansion across the West. So we might have been looking at early 1800s. Excuse me. Matter of fact, you know what, guys? We have technology. We have YouTube. I'm going to go look it up right now. I'm going to go find out. I'm going to go look up Gemma's channel. I remember it was like vampire or something. If I type it in, it'll probably pull up here. Let me see. Gemma Jade. We're having a Gemma, by the way, guys.
She is working on a book that's due tomorrow, and
That's
she
right.
is just working her ass off
She's trying
on
to
that.
drop
so-
it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Gemma Jade.
It was cool that she spent some time with us.
She's
Vampires.
pretty awesome at that writing stuff.
Yeah, she just met. That's so synchronistic. She just messaged me, or whatever you guys are saying. Well, yeah.
Sunsaver says too much lithium and cobalt in their water turns them into lithium-ion batteries, and they catch fire.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
Okay,
but
listen.
putting the bones-
with that,
the bones
with that
stuff,
one,
yeah.
love it. Yeah. Again, even if you're getting ignition, why the pure amount of heat that these bodies put off, where the firefighters could not get into the door, they had to use their heat-resistant gloves to get into the rooms, but then nothing's burned but the bodies.
That's weird.
How does that happen? In one
Yeah,
case,
I was gonna say
it
the burned
shrunk the
bone,
skull. I can't tell it all. Guys,
Yeah, you should.
going.
Yeah, you're gonna get us in trouble.
You're not gonna get in trouble.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
There ain't no laws when you're
I
drinking.
mean, don't get me
claws.
wrong. I want to hear it, and I know everyone else wants to hear it. But
I'm not saying
Man, that's
what
good
you
stuff.
presented is a good idea.
you did a lot of work for your show, and you got to save it for your show. You just got to give them a preview like you're doing, though. Now I'm tuning in for sure.
Don't even get me started on organism 46B. I'll tell you
That's
what.
right.
Oh my God, organism 46B.
Tell you
With a
what,
zero
Say-
APR.
There I was with Hillary flying over the.
Hillary, stop.
Your face even looks like him when you do that.
Oh God.
There I was
Not that little American.
Stupid.
in the Oval Office.
I have sexual relations with that woman.
Indeed, I did actually.
All right, I'm gonna drop the link, Josh, in the chat here
Yeah.
for anybody
But I
that wants
did
to
let her
watch that
hold my
video
cigar.
on the vampires from Gemma Jade. I just dropped that in the chat, so anybody wants to check that out. Much
Go
more
check out
elegantly
Gemma
done.
Jade. Give her a
22 minutes
subscription.
long. She has a new channel actually, so you could subscribe to that one, but she has a new one you can subscribe to as well. Yes. Don't
All right, guys,
cross me.
I'm gonna shut this bitch down on YouTube
Okay.
because
Shut it down
Spooky's gonna come in
hard.
here, and we got a little after show
Why
going on.
wasn't
So,
Spooky in here while we was live?
oh
Are we
yeah,
doing
that's a good
y'all
question,
doing a private
Spooky.
chat?
Whoa,
Oh,
Come on, you
speak
say
of the.
Spooky.
Oh, that is awesome, man.
that's
He said
badass.
his
Kinda
name.
plays in with
Y'all
the
said his name
background, too.
3 times. That's what happened. Did y'all
Yeah,
see
you
that
guys-
shit? He said spooky 3 times, and it was like Beetlejuice straight up in here, man.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And you got to put his logo up on the top right. It's like putting the bat
Love it.
logo up.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
You guys really do need to put it. Oh, you did put it up. Nice. Just popped
Spooky,
up.
spooky, spooky, spooky party everywhere.
All that can make me
Guys.
think of. Oh yeah, sorry. End your show.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. And you got anyone to take us out yet? Do we have Brazzle over here on our
Not
end
yet, but we do have what could we play to take us out of here on the Chop Shop.
Take me home tonight.
I got something I could play.
Right now, I'm listening to that Kanye West. I feel like
I got the
Grandmaster.
Yeezys on.
Grandmaster UV over here.
He's got the Yeezys on. He's getting it. He's doing it.
Yeah. Oh, check this out. Check this out. Hell yeah!
Oh man! Go to
Oh, shit.
chadsmithpodcast.com. Get your merch.
Don't stop. Get it. Get it.
Oops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Go to
Oh, man.
chadsmithpodcast.com. Get your merch that Spooky's got right there.
Spooky, we're
Alright,
still
guys.
alive.
We'll see you guys next time on the Paranormal Chop Shop, and check us out on the Chad Smith Podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Danny. Good job, man. That was good times.
I'll
Take
play a
care.
little video that Sonny made
What are we
to take us out.
All
The
right,
UFO Garage.
Oh man, yep.
All right, we'll
Show
see you
the voice
guys
of
next
love.
time.
Man, that's an
Peace.
expensive commercial just to be playing for free like that.
I know it took a lot of money to make this thing, but
The CGI is crazy expensive.
Oh my god.
But okay, drop that like it's hot.
all right, we'll see
See
you
you guys
guys.
next
Come on,
Friday.
Zod.
And we'll see you next Tuesday and Thursday with Chad.
Chad will be on that one time tomorrow, guys.
Oh
Make sure you
yeah,
check it
the
out.
one time I was
I'll be
abducted.
on there.
Oh, that's right. That
you
one
doing
time.
butt-
Yep.
you
for
gonna
butt
do the butt
stuff?
stuff?
Are you
You
gonna
gonna go do the
to
butt
hang
stuff
out
with
with
the-
the girls for butt stuff?
I was
the-
invited to go do some butt stuff.
Oh,
And I'll be on there
Great.
Wednesday, and Chad will be on there tomorrow.
you better.
I'm gonna
you
crack
better-
the shit out of Chad's tomorrow.
You better establish a safe word before you get over there.
Oh,
We got
man.
one.
Oh yeah.
Pineapple.
With the
Pineapple.
Which word is
Towaba.
tangerine?
Totiwaba.
My safe word is don't stop. And that is
Please harder. Please
Harder.
Please harder.
All right, we'll see you
Get out of the
guys.
show. Sorry.
Peace
Love you
out,
all.
guys.
Peace.